The following programs were originally aired live, long before the advent of high fidelity, and they were recorded using a variety of means, from direct recording onto early audio tape and glass records, to simply placing the microphone of a wire recorder in front of the speakers of a radio playing the program. I hope, however, that any variance in audio quality will not take away from your pleasure in listening to these, some of the all-time favorite shows.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Next guest will give you the laughs, just don't ask him to lend you money. It's Jack Benny coming up next.
The Jack Benny Program.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, in all modesty, I think you'll agree with me when I say that our radio program boasts an unusual array of talent.
We have nothing but the best.
For instance, our orchestral ensemble is conducted by that learned symphonist, that gifted maestro, Phil Harris.
That's right, folks. Phil is a great musician. Why Spike Jones doesn't grab him is beyond me. Continue, Don.
And for our singer of songs, we have Larry Stevens, a newcomer, who, in addition to being a great singer, is sincere, unassuming, and ingratiating.
Well, he better be. After all, I'm paying him $22.50 a week. That ain't cactus, brother. Go ahead, Don.
Next, and with a feeling of pride, I'd like to point to the feminine side of our roster. The lovely, beautiful, charming, and irresistible Mary Livingston.
That's right, fellas. She was just voted Miss Hubba 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 of 1944. That sounds like the auctioneer there for a minute. Continue, Don, will you?
I'd like to pay tribute to the man, the one man, who is responsible for bringing this program into your home Sunday after Sunday.
Yes, sir, Sunday after Sunday. Neither rain, nor snow, nor sleet, nor storm shall stay this courier from his appointed rounds. I copied that off a post office. The Cucamonga branch. Go ahead, Don. Don't keep him waiting.
This man, whose talent is summed up in one word, genius, has the rare faculty of knowing what the people want and seeing that they get it.
Oh, Don, please.
So now we present the one man chosen by the sponsor for this all-important job. And here he is, our producer, Bob Ballin.
What? Hey, Bob Ballin? Now, wait a minute. Hey, what's this all about? Wait a minute. Wait a minute! Hey, Bob, how do you like that? For 12 years, I'm the star of this show, and who does he introduce? Bob Ballin.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Bob, Air Technical Command Ballin.
Now, look, Mr. Ballin.
Or...
Mr. Ballin, stop imitating Bob Hope and get back to your control room.
All right, but before I go, remember, folks, Ballin spelled backwards is Nilab.
I don't care what it is, now get back in that control room. You know better than to leave my writers in there alone. They'll kill each other. John, let's not waste any more time. Now go ahead and introduce me like you were supposed to.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, in introducing Jack Benny,
The star of our show.
the star of our show,
I always have to remind him of that, always. Huh?
it is only fitting that I say he is one
Hello,
of the
Don.
greatest...
Hello, Jack. Hiya, fellas. Say, Jack, do you think the boys will like me in this dress?
Yeah, they'll like you. They'll like you.
Well, what's the matter with you?
Nothing, except you interrupted Don just as he was introducing me.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Jack, don't be such a big ham.
I'm not a big ham.
Then how come when you play a theater, the admission is 40 cents and 10 red points?
Mary, don't make a big thing out of it. I only said that you interrupted my introduction.
So what? Don never gives me an introduction, and I don't care.
Oh, he doesn't, eh? Don, tell Mary what you said about her before she came in.
Why, certainly. Mary, I said that you were lovely, beautiful, charming, and irresistible.
Oh, Don, you've been listening to all these pilots here.
Wait a minute, Mary. We only got here yesterday.
Well, I'm talking about the pilots I met in Hollywood last week. And I wasn't with them 5 minutes before I knew they were stationed out here with the technical command.
You knew they were stationed with a technical command?
Yes.
Well, I'll hate myself if this doesn't get a laugh, but here goes. You mean the pilots started to get commanding?
No, they try to get technical.
Now we can both hate ourselves.
Say, Jack, how about your introduction? Do you want me to give it to you now?
Oh, yes, Don. We must get started with the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, in introducing Jack Benny,
The star of our show.
the star of our show, it is only fitting that I say he is one of the greatest...
Hello, everybody. Hello, Miss Livingston.
Oh, hello, Larry.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Jack.
Oh, all right. Larry, now that you came in finally, what do you go? Go ahead and sing, will you?
Yes, sir. And Mr. Benny, is it all right with you if I dedicate the song to my girl?
Well, sure, kid. Go right ahead. I didn't even know you had a girl.
Oh, yes. We've been going steady for 3 years.
Say, that must be quite a romance. What's your girl's name?
Fanny.
Oh, it's a nice name. Huh?
And you know, Mr. Benny, every time we go to the movies, I want to sit downstairs, but she always takes me by the arm and says, "Come on, Larry, let's sit upstairs in the last row of the balcony."
Oh, well. She always wants you to sit in the last row of the balcony. Huh, kid?
She did that 3 times already, and last night I found out why.
Really?
She's farsighted.
Oh, well, you had me worried for a minute. Go ahead and sing, kid, will you? Go ahead.
There goes that song again. We used to call it our serenade. We fell in love when we heard it played. Over and over and over and over again. I still remember when I sang the words and they made you mine. I'd steal a kiss and repeat each line. Over and over and over and over, and then we drifted apart. You walked off with my heart. It's funny how one listen just starts me reminiscing. I'd soon forget that, yeah. I told myself when you said so long, but I was wrong. There goes that song again. There goes that song we called our serenade. We fell in love when we heard it played. Over and over and over and over, and then we drifted apart. You walked off with my heart. It's funny how one listen just starts me reminiscing. I'd soon forget that, yeah. I told myself
That was There Goes That Song Again, sung by Larry Stevens. And, Larry, that introduction I made Don Wilson give you was very true. You really have a beautiful voice.
And I'm sincere and unassuming.
And ingratiating.
And underpaid.
Mary, he's not underpaid. I'm giving him $22.50 a week, and that's plenty. After all, what does he do with it? He goes to the movies and sits in the balcony. If I pay him more, he'll buy his girl glasses, and then where'll he be? Downstairs again. Now, let's get on with the...
Hey, Jack, talking about glasses, you ought to get regular ones and get rid of those bifocals you're wearing.
Listen, sister, I wouldn't get rid of these bifocals for anything. I use the top half for reconnaissance and the bottom half to see what I got after I whistle. And now, folks...
Say, Jack, how about your introduction? You want me to give it to you now?
I certainly do. After all, we got to get the program started. Now, go ahead, Don.
Ladies and gentlemen, in introducing Jack Benny, I feel it's only...
Don.
In introducing Jack Benny, the star of our show, I feel it's only fitting to say that he's... one of the
Okay,
greatest-
kids, get ready to scream, because Harris is here and right on the beam. Yeah. With a yahoo, with a yahoo for San Verdue. Yeah.
Well, he gets all out of it that he can, doesn't he, fellas? I'm not kidding, huh? Phil, it's bad enough coming in here trying to get laughed with a corny entrance, but you don't have to bring props with you.
Props, what are you talking about,
That
props?
thing hanging out of your sleeve, what is that?
Well, it's an extension. When I pull it out, it gives me an arm 12 feet long.
An arm 12 feet long. What's it for?
It's the only way you can get in the bar at the California Hotel.
Look, Phil, I hate to keep bringing this up, but instead of wasting your time being a playboy, why don't you try to improve yourself? Do something educational.
What are you talking about, Jackson? I'm way ahead of you. I'm studying foreign languages.
Foreign languages? Are you kidding?
No, I'm studying Russian. I got the book right here with me. See? Russian book.
That's ration book. Don't you ever learn anything?
How can I? Alice keeps tearing the pages out.
Well, now I've heard everything.
Oh, Jack, you didn't even know when you're being ribbed. Phil's been kidding you all the time. He's a whole lot smarter than you think he is.
Marta, I'll lay 8 to 5. He doesn't even know the alphabet.
Ha ha, that's one on you, Jackson. I knew the alphabet when I was 4 years old.
Oh, yeah? Let me hear you say it.
All right. A stands for antelope. B stands for bear. C stands for cantaloupe. And D stands for dare. E stands
Phil,
for elephant.
wait a minute. Look at it. Look, can't you say it without the name?
That's the way I learned it, Jackson, and I ain't gonna let nothing throw me.
Even jet propulsion couldn't get you off the ground. Believe me.
Jet propulsion?
Yeah, he's the bouncer at the 467 Club.
Oh, yeah, I remember old Jet. Old Jet.
This is the kind of a program that's rushing television, you know?
Yeah, because if you don't see it, you won't believe it.
You said it. And, Phil, until television gets here and nips your career in the bud, would you mind playing and... Come in?
Mr. Benny,
Yes?
I'm from Esquire magazine. We printed an article about you and have all the information in our files except one thing.
What would you like to know?
Your age, please.
Well, I'm... Oh, no, you don't. You're the same fella that hounded me on my show last week. I told you then I'm 36.
I know, Mr. Benny, but when I told my editor you were 36, he just kept staring at a photograph and scratching his head.
A photograph?
Yes, a picture of you shaking hands with Pocahontas.
That picture was taken at a masquerade party at the Palladium.
The Palladium?
Yes.
With Pocahontas?
I told you that wasn't Pocahontas.
Then what was that arrow doing over your head?
It was pointing to the powder room and get out of here. Now go back to your editor and tell him I'm 36.
All right, Mr. Benny, all right. For 2 weeks now, I've been asking you your age, and you keep saying you're 36, 36. That number keeps haunting me. I see it in my dreams.
What?
36, those numbers. A 3 and a 6. A 3 and a 6. A 3 and a 6. A 6 and a 3.
No!
A 3 and a 6. 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 It's driving me mad! 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 I know it isn't the truth, but I'm going to try it! I'm going to try it!
I wonder why he was laughing so much. Maybe he's wearing GI underwear. I don't know. Play, Phil, will you? That was Hollywood Canteen, played by Phil Harris and his unrationed orchestra. Unrationed meaning there's no demand for them. And now, folks.
Say, Jack.
Yeah?
I can't get over that fella from Esquire magazine getting so hysterical when you told him your age.
Yeah. Gee, how I wish I really was 36. Oh, well, I can wait. Say, Don.
Jack.
What?
If I were a man and you weren't the boss and you took your glasses off, I'd punch you right in the nose.
Oh, you're just sore because my stockings are nylon. Oh, Don.
Yes, Jack.
You know, the program will be over pretty soon, and you still haven't given me my introduction.
Okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce a star who is known and loved by all. A star who has a long way to go before reaching the age of 36.
Well.
And here she is, Miss Dorothy Lamour.
Dorothy Lamour?
Oh, thanks, fellas.
Well, Dorothy, I can't believe you're here. I must be dreaming. I'm going to find out if I'm awake or asleep.
Jack, you're supposed to pinch yourself, not Dorothy.
Mary, I know what I'm doing. Dorothy, I really am surprised to see you here. I thought you lived in Hollywood.
I do.
And what are you doing here in San Bernardino?
Well, this is the closest apartment I could get.
Oh.
Anyway, I like it here. I enjoy myself when I'm out this way.
Well, Dorothy, I've seen you in a sarong, and I enjoy myself when you're out that way. Say, that's pretty good, huh, Mary? Why don't you say something?
I don't want to break up this sparkling dialogue.
Oh, Mary, you little vixen, you. Huh?
Hey, Jackson, how long are you going to keep this girl in suspense?
What do you mean, suspense?
Introduce me.
Introduce you? Oh, pardon me, Phil. Dorothy, this is Phil Harris.
Hello, Phil.
Hiya, Dottie. What do you hear from the South Seas?
Phil, I just make pictures about the South Seas. I've never really been there.
You haven't?
No.
Well, throw a couple of sarongs and a grip and let's take off, kid.
Phil. Say, Dorothy, I'd like to make one of those pictures with you sometime. You know, where we're both on one of those islands.
Well, maybe we will, Jack.
No, you always work with Hope and Crosby.
I know, Jack, but I'd much rather work with you.
You'd much rather work with me? Gosh, it doesn't seem believable.
I know, but here it is on page 12.
Oh, yeah. But no kidding, Dorothy. Maybe sometime we can all make a picture together. You, Crosby, Hope, and me.
Yes, you can be the girl that Hope gets.
With his nose, I wouldn't have him. Anyway, Dorothy, what an attraction that would make. Imagine all four of us in one picture. Lamour, Crosby, Hope, and Benny. I can just see the billing on the marquee. Jack, Benny, and friends. Ah, what an attraction.
Say, Jack, as long as you and Dorothy are such good friends, I think you ought to know something.
What's that?
Today's her birthday.
Oh, Mary.
Dorothy, today is your birthday. See, if you'd only told me yesterday, I'd have had a present for you now.
Oh, Jack, what could you knit in one day?
No, Dorothy, I was thinking of buying you a present, but today is Sunday and all the department stores are closed.
What did you ever give anybody that you couldn't buy in a drugstore?
Quiet. Well, anyway, Dorothy, happy birthday. And I know all the fellas here want to wish you the same. Come on, boys, all together.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dorothy. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, fellas, and thank you, Jack.
You're welcome, Dorothy. And to show you that I'm not really cheap, come here and I'll give you a kiss. Come here now.
But, Jack, in front of all these...
Oh, don't be bashful just because I'm a celebrity, for heaven's sake. Come here, kiss.
Did you like it, Jack?
Jack. Jack, say something.
Benny to control tower. Benny to control tower. Clear the runway. I'm coming in for a landing. Roger!
No kidding, Jack. Did my kiss really do that to you?
Yes, Dorothy, all those lips. They're so round, so firm. So fully puckered. Come on, Dorothy, let's try it again. Huh? Oh, darn it. Excuse me, Dorothy.
Gladly.
Thanks. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, you were supposed to be here this morning. Why are you so late?
Well, I had a little accident while driving up here.
An accident?
Yeah, and by the way, boss, do you have that kind of insurance that covers the other party?
Oh, for heaven's sake. Rochester, the last time you drove my car, I had to fix somebody's fender. The time before, I had to buy a man a taillight. What now?
The state of California wants a new bridge.
A bridge? My goodness, what happened?
Well, I was passing a truck on the bridge when coming right at me from the other direction was a big bus, so I made a left turn.
A left turn on a bridge, Rochester, that's impossible.
Not impossible, boss, but definitely impractical.
Well, tell me, was anybody hurt?
No, but the bridge now has 4 wheels, a convertible top, and a radio that's tuned into life can be beautiful.
Now, Rochester, I want you to cut out this nonsense and tell me exactly what happened.
Well, I hit the bridge hit the bus hit me, the truck hit the bus, then we all got out and had an argument with the captain of the boat.
The captain of the boat? How did the boat get there?
Easy. Well, when the bus turned in, I turned out, the bridge went down, the boat came up.
Rochester, sometimes I can't understand you.
Maybe I'm standing too close to the phone.
I don't mean that. If you met the truck and the bus on the bridge, how did the boat get into the accident?
The bridge wasn't free and easy on the draw.
Rochester, if this is as bad as you say it is, you're going to be in trouble.
Gonna be in trouble? Where do you think I'm calling you from?
You mean you're in jail?
Not yet, but it's just one flight up.
Well, look, Rochester, tell the chief to let you go now, and I'll come down and talk to him after the broadcast.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
Before I left home, a man from Esquire magazine came by and asked me some questions about your age.
Oh, he did, eh? What did you tell him?
I told him you were 36 and he fainted.
What?
Then I told him the truth and he fainted again.
Yes, I know. He is very emotional. Goodbye, Rochester.
Goodbye.
I can't... I can't understand Rochester. He's such a terrible driver. Maybe if it had turned out when the bus turned in the bridge wouldn't have gone down, then the boat couldn't have come up. Oh, well. He should have had his hand out anyway. Play, Phil.
It's the end of the story, the same old story. All the stars in their glory. No, we must part. Though I have to surrender your kisses so tender that used to enchant me. Won't you grant me only this? Let me love you tonight. Let me tell you how much I adore all your charms. Though you leave me tomorrow, for this night will borrow love's song. Let me love you tonight. Let me thrill to the touch of your sheltering arms. Till the scent of the roses caresses and closes your eyes. Let me kiss you tonight while the stars in the sky give a heavenly light. So when love is an ember, my heart will remember your sight. Live a lifetime of love in a moment, holding me tight. Then forget me, darling, only let me love you
Well, folks, this concludes another program, and it was swell being up here in San Bernardino with the Air Technical Service Command. And thank you very much, Dorothy. It was awfully nice having you on our program.
I enjoyed it too, Jack.
Say, Dorothy, what's the name of the picture you just finished at Paramount?
Well, Mary, it sounds like a gag here, but it really isn't. The name of the picture is A Medal for Benny.
A medal for Benny?
Well, he deserves one, Miss Livingston.
No, Larry, they didn't mean me, but thanks just the same, kid. And Dorothy, I'm glad you spent your birthday with me, and I hope you'll be with me on my next birthday when I'm 36.
3 and a 6, a 3 and a 6, a 3 and a 6, a 6 and a 3.
No!
A 3 and a 6, a 3 and a 6, a 3 and a 6, a 3 and a 6.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Good night, folks.
This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Tales of espionage are coming at you with CounterSpy next.
The National Broadcasting Company presents CounterSpy. Washington calling David Harding, CounterSpy. Washington calling David Harding, CounterSpy. Harding, CounterSpy. Calling Washington. United States counterspies, especially appointed to investigate and combat the enemies of our country, both at home and abroad. These counterspy reports to the American people are brought to you each Friday night. Tonight, Case of the Foreign Fires.
There it is. Defense Department Storage Depot number 3.
The gate's about 100 yards from this corner, isn't it?
Yes. Drive right up to it. See if the sentry's awake.
No challenge. Looks like he's asleep.
Who goes there? Shouldn't jump to conclusions. Captain Taylor, Lieutenant Brand, Inspector General's office.
Advance and be recognized.
You stay at the wheel, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir.
All right, Sentry.
May I see your AGO card, sir?
Yeah, here it is. I'll pass it through the gate. We're spot checking security measures for the IG's office.
Yes, sir. Your AGO card.
Thank you, Corporal. All right, Lieutenant, drive in. Well, security at this entrance is in good shape.
Thank you, sir.
There's another sentry at the south gate, isn't there?
Yes, sir.
We'll see how alert he is when we come on him from the rear.
You'll find Corporal Billings.
Nice work, Lieutenant. Out like a light. Yeah. All right, load him in the back of the Jeep. We'll take care of the other sentry and then get down to the real business of the evening. That does it, Lieutenant.
Cut it, Mike, before you start thinking you're really brass. Hey, you dragged those two sentries in here. What's the idea?
When this warehouse goes up in smoke, they go up too. And there's nobody around to identify us.
I don't like it, Mike. Murder ain't part of this.
Stop crying, Kenny. That's part of our deal. We'll put a torch to the joint and leave no witnesses. Or don't you want to get paid off?
Yeah. I want to get paid off.
Okay, then. Your stuff all set?
Yeah, it's all set. I'll touch off this waste. It'll smolder for about 15 minutes and then reach the gasoline. In 20 minutes, this whole joint will be in flames.
Good enough. We'll be far enough away by then. All right, touch it off and let's beat it.
Right. All right, let's go.
Department of Defense to CounterSpy Headquarters. Request immediate investigation of fire in our storage depot number 3, Hagerstown, Maryland. Fire consumes stockpile raw materials for defense. Therefore, request this investigation be given personal attention of David Harding, CounterSpy Chief.
please report to Mr. Harding immediately? Will Mr. Peters in the CounterSpy?
Yes, Mr. Harding?
This teletype just came in from the Defense Department, Peter.
Huh?
The raw material was cinchona bark.
Cinchona? That's what they make quinine out of.
Yes. And building up a big stockpile of it. This fire may have destroyed a third of our entire supply.
Any more details than this, Chief?
No, not right now. That's why I want you to go up there and take personal charge for me.
Will do.
Now, our Baltimore field office has already been notified they'll have a mobile laboratory and agents on the scene by the time you get there.
Good.
And, Peters, I want your investigation to be thorough and send me complete reports. From the sparse details we've gotten so far, it's barely possible this fire may be of accidental origin.
But not likely, hmm?
No. Not when we know how valuable quinine would be in the event of any armed conflict in the East or the Near East. No, Peter, I'll lay odds you'll find evidence of sabotage.
What is this, Lieutenant? An all-day march?
Will you cut that lieutenant stuff, Mike?
Hey, now, Kenny boy. You shouldn't talk to a captain like that.
Some captain.
I thought I looked pretty in a uniform. What are you pacing for, Kenny boy? Sit down and relax.
I don't feel like relaxing. This place gives me the creeps.
You're a big boy, Kenny. Don't be afraid of an empty house, even if it is supposed to be haunted.
That's very funny, but just how long are we going to have to hang around here?
Till Gregor shows up and pays off.
Yeah, real bright dealer he is. We don't know a thing about him. Supposing he don't show.
I know all about him, Kenny. He just thinks I don't. He'll show, and he'll pay off. And then a couple of months from now, he'll pay some more.
You going to put the squeeze on him?
Why not? He's got plenty of dough behind him.
I got it, that.
And in his line of business, he can't squawk at a squeeze. They shoot spies.
And hang murderers. Count me out. I just want the payoff. You can do your whistling act solo.
You? Passing up easy change?
Now, look. It stopped being easy when we left those soldiers in the warehouse. I never should have let you...
Take a look, Kenny.
Gregor and that tomato of his, Irene.
Yeah? She can climb in my cell at any time.
Okay, Mike, okay. You take the tomato, I'll take the lettuce. Long green bills. Let's get this payoff over with fast and wash up the deal, huh?
Well, then let the man in, Kenny.
Oh, Gregor, Irene.
How do you do? Kenneth? Michael?
Hi, Gregor.
That hi in front of Gregor always sounds so incongruous.
I'll take English lessons. You want to teach me?
It might be interesting.
Irene?
Let's cut the chatter and get down to business, huh?
That's what I like. The direct American approach.
You owe us 5 G's. Pay off and we'll wind this up.
G's?
He means thousands, Gregor.
Of dollars, Gregor.
Oh, of course, Michael.
What about the other project, shall we say?
Well, let's settle this.
Wait a minute, Mike. What other projects?
Didn't you discuss them with your partner, Michael?
Shut up, Kenny. I'll talk to you later.
You'll talk now. Were you cooking up a deal with this character for more jobs?
He was. We had in mind several projects, the first of which was a rubber stockpile I would be most happy to see vanish.
As far as I'm concerned, this was strictly a one-shot deal that I'm sorry I ever got into.
May I ask why, Kenneth?
Sure. Sabotage. I didn't like the smell of it from the start, but Mike talked me into it for a fast $5,000.
Don't tell me you're suddenly becoming patriotic, Kenneth.
Yeah. Maybe that's it, huh?
Perhaps that's why you did not fulfill your part of the agreement.
We did the job.
Wait a minute, Kenny. Now, look, Gregor. We burned the joint down. Don't try to pull a fast shuffle on us.
True, but both sentries were to be eliminated.
They were.
Not according to this newspaper bulletin. Yeah, read it.
No fatalities occurring from the fire have as yet been reported, though the 2 sentries on duty were severely burned.
What?
That's what it says,
Well,
Kenneth.
they must have come to before the fire got a good start, that's all.
I'm greatly disappointed, Michael. I had always gotten the impression from American films that your type of man was thorough about these things.
Okay, so we're not. Knock the price down.
Yeah, but let's wash this up now fast. I'm afraid it's not as simple as that.
Gregor.
I'll handle this, Irene.
What do you mean, not simple?
The sentries could identify you both. And you, in turn, could identify us. Not a happy situation.
Now, listen, Gregor.
I think you'd better listen,
Wait,
Michael.
a gun. You can't pull anything like this.
I pull nothing, Michael. You have merely handled your job inefficiently. Therefore, you must be liquidated.
Gregor, I would like to leave.
This will only take a minute, Irene.
Why, you dirty spy, and I'll get you for this.
Your friend Kenneth was impetuous, Michael. Are you?
You double-crosser.
So true.
All right, get it over with. Shoot.
No, Michael. I have a better use for you than I had for your helper. Turn around.
What for?
No questions. Turn.
What comes next?
This.
Gregor,
Later, Irene. I will need your help to carry this one out to our car. He will play a big part in our plans for a really impressive bit of sabotage.
Mr. Harding. Where are you, Chief?
In here, Peters. Shaving.
Oh. Stepping out for the night?
No, I've been here in the office all day waiting to hear from you. Thought I'd save some time by shaving now.
All right, I'll wait till you finish.
Oh, go ahead. Talk while I shave. I'm almost through.
Well, Chief, there's no doubt the fire was sabotage.
Yes, I gathered that from the news flash about the sentries there. How are they?
Suffering from shock and second-degree burns.
Yeah? Couldn't question them?
Little. One of them said he could identify the men who did it, and that's when the doctor ushered me out of the room.
When we'll be able to question them more thoroughly?
Well, the doc said probably tomorrow, day after at the latest.
Oh, good.
The best part about it, Chief, is this. We've got a clear set of fingerprints on one of the arsonists.
Fingerprints? Where?
On the leather-tie belt the sentries wear on guard duty. The sentries apparently were dragged into the warehouse by those belts.
Oh, that's great.
I'll get that, Chief. Our fingerprint section's classifying the prints now. We may get an identification out of it.
Well, I hope so.
Hello? Yes, this is Mr. Harding's office. No, this is not Mr. Harding speaking. Just a moment. For you, Chief. A female.
Well, I'll be right there.
What's she look like, Chief? Or is it a secret?
Stop trying to be a comic. Give me that phone.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Is this Mr. David Harding?
It is.
You would perhaps like to know something about the fire in the defense warehouse in Maryland.
Why, of course. Who is this?
I will meet you if you can guarantee me protection.
If you've got anything to tell us, you'll be protected to the full extent of our ability.
Very well, then. I will come to your headquarters.
When? How will we know you?
What is it, Dave?
Wait.
I will be there in half an hour, wearing a camel's hair coat and black tam.
Yes?
Meet me at the entrance to your headquarters. And when I am safely in your custody, I will tell you not only about the fire, but about plans that are being made for even greater sabotage against our country.
Back to CounterSpy in a moment. It is urgent that all of us give full and continued attention to the problem of employing workers with physical handicaps. Employing physically handicapped workers makes them self-supporting, saves public funds, increases the number of taxpayers, boosts production, and benefits your community. Prejudice and lack of correct information are the greatest obstacles to employment of workers who are handicapped, but who are otherwise fully equipped to do a good job in business and industry. The injured or crippled, whether disabled by birth, accident, or disease, should be encouraged to get in touch with their state divisions of vocational rehabilitation or with the Veterans Administration if their disability took place before July 26, 1947, in connection with service and in the armed forces. Those ready and trained for work should be urged to register with the state employment offices. Employers should also be reminded to use these facilities. For further information, write Vice Admiral Ross T. McIntyre, Room 1136, United States Department of Labor, Washington 25, D.C. And now, back to CounterSpy.
sure she said half an hour, Mr. Harding?
That's what I heard, Peters.
It's almost 40 minutes since the call and no camel's hair coat and black tan yet.
Well, we'll just have to wait.
There's a cab stopping now, Chief.
Yeah, that could be. That's her.
Look at her. She's weaving.
Is it? Come on, Peters.
Chief, that car coming up behind the cab.
Hey, what's going on here? Peters, take the car. I'll get the girl.
Miss.
Peters, come here.
My shots went wide, Chief, but I got the license number and make of the car.
Get it right up to our radio communications room and out to the Washington Police patrol cars.
Right.
And call our medical section. Tell them to send a stretcher out here. This girl's been hit bad.
To all Washington police cars from CounterSpy headquarters, be on alert for black Packard sedan, Montana license number 891-72-13. Occupants armed and dangerous. If car spotted, notify CounterSpy headquarters immediately. That is all.
How is she, Doctor? Is it serious?
Well, not the wounds. It's just a flesh wound in the arm. The bullet went clear through, and her side was creased by a bullet.
I see. Well, can I talk to her?
I'm afraid not. The effects of shock. She's in a state of trauma, almost like a drug sleep.
When can I talk to her?
Well, when she comes out of shock.
Any idea when that'll be?
10 minutes, 10 hours.
Oh, great. Will you mind standing by until she does come out of the shock? I'll want to talk to her immediately. You better check the fact that I can.
I'll be standing by, Mr. Harding.
Do you want to move her, or will she be all right in that couch in my office?
Oh, better to let her remain where she is.
All right, whatever you say.
How is she, Chief?
Unconscious for the moment. Anything on that car?
Excuse me, Mr. Harding. I'll go in and keep an eye on her.
Right, Doctor. Let me know the minute I can talk to her.
Yes, sir.
Now, what about the car, Peters?
No trace of it, Chief. But there was a report just a few minutes ago of a car accident on the banks of the Potomac.
Oh?
A black sedan went into the river. I'm having it raised now, and I'll bet it's our baby. Empty.
Did you check on the Montana license?
Yes. I called our field office in Montana. They'll wake the clerk of the Motor Vehicle Bureau and get to us as soon as possible.
Good. What about the bullets?
We found the 3 of them on the steps to our headquarters, Chief. The laboratory's got them now. Meanwhile, we got an unexpected break.
Yeah, what?
When that car drove away, it went through a puddle of water. And we've got a beautiful set of photos of the tire tracks.
Good.
I've put them through the regular routine. We'll have agents checking them as soon as we raise that car from the river.
That's fine, Peters. Now, any report on the fingerprints on that sentry's belt?
Not yet, Chief. I'll check that right away.
Okay. But first, Peters, let's take out some insurance on the girl.
How?
There are a bunch of reporters in the lobby very anxious to know what this is all about. Tell them the whole story, but embellish one fact. Tell them the girl was fatally wounded.
Okay, Chief.
Now, you keep me posted on the results you get from the bullets and the tire tracks. I'll stick here. I want to talk to that girl the minute she regains consciousness.
Well, Mr. Harding. Chief.
Oh, Peters.
Fine thing. While I'm running my feet off chasing lab reports.
Never mind, Peters. This job, you have to catch your sleep while you can.
That sounds good.
Besides, that's why it's good to be the boss. Oh, what time is it?
That's more like the reason, and it's almost 2 in the morning.
2? Well, that girl's been unconscious for almost 3 hours.
Just about.
Hope she comes around soon. Oh, what have you got?
Well, the prints on the sentry's belt belong to a guy we've got in our files.
American?
Yes. Michael Deacon, a small-time arsonist. I've already put out a pickup on him.
Good. What about the license?
We drew a blank there. That Montana license belongs to a Miss Abigail Buffington, whose own car and license at the moment are in her garage in Montana, while she's probably trying to get back to the sound sleep our agent woke her from.
Yeah, phony plate, huh?
Mm-hmm. And nothing on the tire tracks yet, either.
And the bullets?
There's something that...
Mr. Harding? Oh, hello, Peters.
Hello, Doc.
The girl's conscious, Doctor?
Yes, no trace of shock. Splendid recovery. She could go home right now if she had to, with just a fresh dressing on that flesh wound in her arm.
Well, then I can talk to her.
For as long as you want.
Before you do, Chief, take a look at this report on the bullets.
I see. It's very interesting. Doctor.
Yes, Mr. Harding.
Get me a complete medical report on the shooting as soon as you can, will you?
Certainly, sir.
You stick out here, Peters. I may need you.
Right, Chief.
How are you now, Miss Waters?
Oh, Mr. Harding?
Yes.
You know my name.
From the cards in your purse.
Of course. Listen, Mr. Harding, I must tell you immediately about the fire in Maryland.
We know about it, Miss Waters, the fact that it was sabotaged.
Yes, but do you know there is another such incident planned for tonight?
What? Where?
At a rubber depot in Purdy, Virginia.
Yeah, go on. Peters.
Yes, Chief.
Get this. Continue, Miss Waters.
Well, it's the Defense Department rubber stockpile in Purdy, Virginia. It is to be set fire to tonight by a man named Gregor Markov.
All right, Peters, get busy on notifying Purdy.
Right away, Chief.
Now, Miss Waters.
Oh, please, Mr. Harding, before you continue, could I ask a favor?
And what is it?
Would it be possible for you to tell the papers that I am dead? The shooting, it would be so good. That way I could live without fear.
It has already been done, Miss Waters.
Oh, wonderful. Now I have much to tell you.
Well, yes, go on.
Well, as you may have gathered, I am not American, though I am a naturalized citizen.
Yeah?
I came to this country in 1936 at the height of the Depression.
I can guess part of the story. You became involved in quite a few causes and activities, huh?
Yes, I'm sorry to
Mr. Harding,
say...
that depot in Purdy, it's already ablaze. They're fighting the fire now.
What?
But it can't be. It was for tonight.
Well, it's now 2 o'clock in the morning, Miss Waters.
I've been unconscious that long?
Yes. Now, Peters, get out there right away. Take charge of the investigation.
All right, Chief.
Now, Miss Waters, go right ahead.
Please. Mr. Harding, I suddenly feel very weak. Could we continue this later?
You have more to tell me.
Much. Many names and people you would not imagine would betray this country, but my strength is not up to it now.
Well, you can rest right
Oh,
here.
I would rather my own apartment.
Your own apartment?
It is one that I've kept for myself. They don't know of it. If you could only put a guard on it.
Well, all right, Miss Waters. I'll have one of our agents escort you home, and we'll have an agent watching your apartment every second you're there.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Harding.
Do you know how to use a gun?
A little, but I haven't got one.
Well, I'll give you one, just for added insurance.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Harding.
I'll be around to see you in the morning. We'll pick up this conversation then.
All right, Mr. Harding. I'm sure that what I have to tell you will hold many surprises for you.
I'm sure it will, Miss Waters. Now, just rest here, and I'll send for an agent and a car to take you home.
Thank you, Mr. Crandall.
That's all right, Miss Waters.
You will be at my door all night.
Well, that's the job Mr. Harding gave me. Don't worry, I'll be here.
That is good to know. Good night.
Good night.
Hello, Irene.
Oh. Gregor, you had plenty of time?
More than enough. How did your part go?
Perfectly. There's a CounterSpy outside the door now guarding me.
Wonderful. I'll be perfectly safe in here then.
Yes. The depot is destroyed?
I'm afraid not completely, but that's unimportant. The main item is for you to gain the confidence of the CounterSpies.
What about Michael's body?
In the depot, burned beyond recognition. But my rings, watch, and identification are all on him.
Well, that will confirm my story about you.
Should be the first step in getting you into the confidence of the CounterSpy.
Yes, but I'll have to have more to tell Mr. Harding when he comes here in the morning.
There will be plenty to tell. Here's a list of names of people who have aided us in the past. You can betray them.
They will do some talking themselves.
They can tell nothing of value. The important thing is to get you firmly into CounterSpy headquarters. Then we will be able to learn much of value to us.
I hope so, Gregor.
How's your arm, my dear?
Throbs a bit, but otherwise all right. It was fortunate we made the 2 wounds before I left for the CounterSpy headquarters. At least it allowed us to control the seriousness of the injuries.
It was almost a mistake, Irene. I noticed you staggering when you left the cab. If you had collapsed before I had a chance to fire...
I didn't. But I am ready to collapse now, so let me retire. I would like to be fresh for the fairy tales I must tell Mr. Harding in the morning. Mr. Harding.
Good morning, Miss Waters. Okay, Crandall, you can go home and get some shut-eye now. I'll take over.
Thank you, Mr. Harding.
Oh, come in.
Tell me, how do you feel this morning?
Excellent, but the fire in Purdy, was the rubber depot a total loss?
Not quite, but I'd like to show you something.
Yes?
This ring and this watch. Have you ever seen them before?
Yes, they are Gregor Markov's. Where did you get them?
From a body found in the fire.
Gregor dead?
The way we reconstruct it, he set fire to the depot. He started to leave, and he must have slipped on some oil slick. He was knocked out. That was it. Fracture of the skull.
Gregor dead. Wonderful. Now, Mr. Harding, I can speak without fear.
Except for the fact that the body wasn't Gregor's.
What?
There were enough fingerprints to identify him as one Michael Deacon.
I don't understand.
And the gentleman had been dead for at least 3 hours before the fire started, so he couldn't have set it off. Which makes me think, Miss Waters, that your quick acceptance of Markoff's death is a little too convenient.
Stay where you are, Mr. Harding. Don't forget you gave me this gun yourself.
Now we're out in the open, huh?
Quite. Gregor!
I heard, Irene.
So, this is Gregor Markoff.
Yes, Mr. Harding. It's a shame your American methods of crime deduction are so efficient.
A beautiful scheme to gain the confidence of the CounterSpies. With you in this apartment, we'd have been guarding the very man we'd be searching for. It's too bad. That's a total loss.
Not a total loss, Mr. Harding.
Oh?
At least from this we can salvage your death, which will be quite a blow to America's counter-espionage forces.
You think you'll escape?
Perhaps not. But it's a good bargain. Our lives for yours. Sorry, Mr. Harding.
Stay where you are, both of you.
All right, Peters. Just keep them covered. You've got 3 more shots, Miss Waters. Why not use them? They're blanks, too.
Blank?
What is this?
Another example of American methods of crime deduction, Markov. Miss Waters, you were under suspicion from the moment you left our headquarters last night.
But why? I said nothing to...
No, but your wounds did, as well as the bullets that were fired at you.
Our laboratory reports show that the bullets never entered your body. No traces of blood or flesh.
And the wound in your arm was parallel to the ground, not at an angle, as it would have been if you'd been shot climbing the steps of CounterSpy headquarters. That's why we decided to give you that gun and see how far you'd carry this.
Better not move. This gun isn't loaded with blanks.
Just move them in one direction, Peters. Out. We'll really show them the efficiency of our American methods in dealing with spies and saboteurs.
Tune in every Friday, same time, same station, to CounterSpy. Listen next Friday for the exciting Case of the Curious Conspiracy.
When certain short-sighted individuals took a long chance to obtain scarce war materials, your counterspies had to adopt very unusual methods of investigation. The full facts will be released next Friday in
Case of the Curious Conspiracy on CounterSpy. Tonight's CounterSpy program originated in New York, was directed by Leonard L. Bass, dramatized by Palmer Thompson, and featured Don McLaughlin and Mandel Kramer. CounterSpy is produced by Phillips H. Lord.
3 chimes mean good times on NBC. Tomorrow night, Dennis Day joins the battle against hoarding with some merry and nearly disastrous results. Judy Canova discovers 500 shares of supposedly worthless stock, which almost turn her into a millionaire. But millionaire or not, she's the same lovable Judy. The chimes tomorrow mean the Dennis Day Show and the Judy Canova Show.
Hey, man, how about we check in with Fibber, Magee, and Molly next? That sounds good to me.
The Pet Milk Program with Fibber, Magee, and Molly. The first evaporated milk, Pet Milk, presents Fibber, Magee, and Molly with Bill Thompson, Arthur Q. Bryan, Dick LeGrand, and me, Harlow Wilcox. The show is written by Don Quinn and Phil Leslie and directed by Max Hutto with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. There are all sorts of big moments in your life when you have a baby. One is the moment when bottle feeding days are over. There's no more formula fixing to be done. And you may think you should change the milk you give your baby as well as the way in which it's given. But before you make a decision, consider these facts. Pet milk in its sealed can is as free from illness-causing germs as if there were no such thing in the world. This can't be said of all milk. Pet milk is uniformly rich, easier for youngsters to digest than ordinary bottled milk. And pet milk has the combination of milk minerals and vitamin D that a child needs all through his growing years in order to achieve the best of growth, to develop straight limbs, to have strong, sound teeth. So, when you consider these facts, you can understand why it's wise to continue giving your baby pet milk even when formula fixing days are over. Some housewives pride themselves on furniture arrangement. Some are pretty hopped up about their flower arrangement. But meet one with the greatest talent of all, husband arrangement. Molly Magee of Fibber, Magee and Molly.
Dearie, you have been home just 3 minutes and look at this room.
You know something? I was just. You know, it's a wonderful room. It ain't many guys as lucky as me to have a room like this to come home into and to relax into.
I don't mean that. Just look at it. Your overcoat flung on the chair by the door. Your hat on the lamp. Wet galoshes on the Davenport. Your suit coat under the piano. Your newspaper all over the floor and your gloves. One's in the ashtray. Where's the other?
On my hand, I ain't took it off yet.
Now then, do you see anything in this room that I might get disturbed about?
No, but something that's here that I'm disturbed about. Where's my hip boots that I brought them in here just before I went downtown to get a vulcanizing outfit to patch them with because the duck season is almost... Hey, where's my vulcanizing outfit? Oh, here it is in the candy dish.
And your hip boots, which I might add gave this room the romantic fragrance of the Fulton Fish Market. They're on the back porch where they belong.
Yeah, well, Dad Ratted, I wish people would leave my personal belongings around here alone.
By people, you mean me, by any chance?
Well, anybody around here. Well, I happen to have a few little possessions that I cherish. Nothing much, just a pitiful little handful of personal belongings of my own that I like to know where they are at. And when I leave something somewhere...
Like your old Indian clubs that you varnished last week and put in the oven to dry and forgot about, and I thought I'd burned up my leg of lamb and sat down and cried like a baby.
I don't know what you were crying about. I ate half of one of them. But look, do me a favor, Molly. Don't pick up my things. Just let me look after my own stuff, will you? So's I'll know where things are when I want them.
My boy, you have just made yourself a firm deal.
Good.
Shake.
How do you do?
You go right ahead and leave things. I'll touch nothing. I'm going to love not picking up after you. It'll give me 3 or 4 hours of spare time a day. I leave your things strictly alone, believe me.
Good. First thing I'm going to do is bring my old seashell collection up out of the basement and sort it out. I may have some valuable shells in that seashell collection, if I can figure out which ones they are. I'll bring them up here where the light's better and look them over so you can help me sort them out.
Leave his things where he puts them, he says. I wish people would leave my belongings alone, he says. People? It'd take 10 people just to keep his clothes hung up. I never saw such a... Come in, come in.
Hello there, Doc. You mad, daughter?
Hello, Mr. Oldtimer. No, I'm not angry, just annoyed is all. I have a husband who acts like a boy of 11.
Well, good for Johnny. He's grown up. I never seen him act more than 7 or 8. Where's that boy of ours?
That boy of ours, or yours if you want him. He's down in the basement gathering up his seashell collection, as he calls it. 3 bushels of beach refuse he brought home from Florida in 1932, and he...
Hey, somebody give me a hand with this basket of seashells, will you?
Not me, lover. I promised not to touch things, remember?
I'm going to sort them all out. I knew a fellow once that found a seashell that twisted left-handed instead of right-handed, and the museum bought it for $3. Hey, grab the basket, old-timer. Quick, grab it. Oh,
Magee, heavenly.
Very interesting collection of shells, Johnny.
Yeah.
Clams, oysters, and... Hey, is that a bicycle pump there under the chair, kid?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stand bicycle pumps.
Why not?
Well, me and Bessie took us a bicycle trip through the Rocky Mountains last summer.
Yeah?
And I spent so much time pumping up tires, Every time I bend over to tie my shoe, I start looking for the valve cap.
Well, otherwise, was it an enjoyable trip?
Oh, yes, daughter. Pretty tiring, though. Pedaling them heavy bikes up them steep mountains and pushing them down the other side.
You rode them up and pushed them down. Why didn't you push them uphill and coast down?
We tried it that way, but they push easier going down.
Himself here took a long bicycle trip once.
Yeah, I took a trip all through the New England states. Ohio and Illinois and Oklahoma. I got some wonderful pictures I took of that trip. Let me show them to you, old-timer. I got them in an album right here in the hall class.
No, Magee, please, now. The house is not
Put them in there just a few weeks ago. They ought to be right here on top somewhere. That's, well, what do you know? My old moose head with the loose eye. I've been meaning to glue that loose moose eye in ever since that eye got loose.
Billy Mills, the orchestra, and use your imagination.
Hey, Molly.
What?
You know something? Since you stopped picking stuff up after me.
At your request.
Yeah, at my request. The room is getting kind of cluttered up.
Nonsense.
Hmm?
There's only a seashell collection all over the floor, a vulcanizing outfit,
Yeah.
a 16-man rubber life raft, a tool chest, a moose head, a tire pump, a mandolin, and a few objects I haven't identified as yet. Oh, yes, there's your mahjong set and the camp stove.
Yeah. You sure they ain't in the way till I get them took care of?
Why, of course not, dearie.
Well.
My goodness, I like it this way.
Good.
Makes the house look lived in.
Yes, it does.
By a couple of drunken junk dealers. What's that thing? Come in.
Oh, Dr. Gamble. Hi, Docky.
Good day, my dear.
Good day.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, good day, Doctor.
That's better. And good day to you, Fishhead. Do you know that this house is in a strictly residential district?
What you mean it's in a strictly?
You can't start. You can't start an army surplus store in here. And surplus from Coxey's army at that.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. What do you mean, Army surplus? These things are merely a few personal possessions that I happen to temporarily lay down in here.
Oh. Well, I'm glad I don't have to lie down in here. What's that thing that looks like a folded-up life raft?
$12 silver to this gentleman. Doctor, that is a folded-up life raft. And will you join me in a little prayer that it stays folded up?
don't touch it, Fatso. Don't touch it. You see that little gadget there? That's a cartridge full of carbohydrated peroxide that you inflated with. And if you bump it, it's liable to inflate the whole...
He can look at it, McGee.
Well,
come on over here, Doctor.
Oh, what am I stepping on? That's just a collection of old seashells, Doc. Don't worry breaking a few. I still got 2 bushel baskets full of them in the basement. For emergencies.
When we get enough of them crushed on the living room floor, we're going to shovel them out and pave the driveway.
Well, if you're sure I'm not damaging anything. Now what?
Boy, are you clumsy. Stepped right into my air raid warden helmet and kicked it right into my Greek typewriter. Why don't you watch where you're going?
Greek typewriter. Where on earth did you get that and why?
Well, I picked it up at a police auction last October. Only $13. You speak Greek? Nope.
Then why Greek typewriter?
You speak Swiss?
No.
Well, then get rid of that wristwatch.
Molly.
Yes, Doctor?
When you promised to love, honor, and obey this beetle brain, did you realize what he could do to a civilized dwelling place?
Well...
Look at this living room. I haven't seen such a shambles since that circus truck loaded with chimpanzees smashed into the pie wagon at 14th and Oak and knocked down a beekeeper on a bicycle.
Yeah, I saw that. But don't be silly, Fatso. Any guy's entitled to a couple of hobbies. What do you want me to do, bury everything I own in the backyard? I like to have my stuff available.
Certainly. And what more available place for a one-eyed moose head is there than under the piano next to a broken lawnmower?
I'm going to fix that lawnmower just as soon as I get the...
Milkman!
Come in, Milkman.
Hi, folks. Oh, hi, Doc. Hi. Thought I'd stop by. Where are you moving to, pal?
My gosh, I'm getting tired of explaining this. Look, Junior, we are not moving. Come in and shut that door. Where was everybody raised? In a birdcage?
Yes, come in and sit down, Harlow.
Yeah.
Squeeze in there between the elderly suitcases and the convertible top off the small English car.
That ain't a convertible top off an old small English car. That's the grass basket off of the lawnmower.
Oh, sorry, old man.
Here, Mr. Wilcox. There's room to sit down over here. Sit with me on this.
Thanks, but what is it?
It's a 16-man life raft, silly boy. What'd you expect to find in McGee's living room? Chairs?
Okay. Scoff, have your fun if you want to. My opinion is that just because a fellow that he likes to tinker with stuff don't put everything away the minute he lays it down, nobody gives me credit for having the ambition and energy that I didn't like to work on stuff I wouldn't have brung it out into the living room in the first place is that it's ridiculous.
How was that again, pal?
It's ridiculous.
Give it, Harlow. He was a swimmer all through high school and learned English with his earplugs in.
Well, now that we're all settled down in our folded-up life raft and our one-eyed moose heads for a nice cozy chat and leg cramps, how about some refreshments?
That's a great idea, kiddo. Why don't you make us some hot buttered root beer?
I'd like a glass of orange juice, Molly, please.
Mr. Wilcox?
Would it be too much trouble to make some hot chocolate with pet milk?
Not a bit, Mr. Wilcox. I always make it with pet anyway.
Cancel the orange juice. I'll have the hot chocolate, too.
Made with pet milk, you mean, Doc?
Made with pet milk, you mean, Doc? My gosh, Junior. After all this time, can't you be a little more subtitle? You gotta drag them mentions in by their thumbs.
McGee, the word is not subtitle. It's subtle.
I thought subtle was a big iron bucket you bring coal into the stove.
That's a scuttle, egg face.
Oh, yeah, don't feed me that misinformation, throat painter. A scuttle is a cross-town train. When I was in New York the last time...
No, pal. That's a shuttle.
Shuttle my clavicle. You're all trying to foul me up. I know what a shuttle is. It's a French castle. Why, sure, when I was in France in the First World War, the big war, when I was there, we was bulleted in a shuttle. I ought to know.
McGee, you were billeted.
Is that so?
I give up. You're all a bunch of frustrated school teachers. What did I say wrong in the first place?
You said subtitle instead of subtle.
A subtitle is the title that comes after the main title. Or in the silent movies, it was the dialogue that was thrown on the screen.
Now, that's what I meant. I was merely trying to say that if Junior couldn't keep his dialogue a little more subtitle, he ought to stay silent.
Well, gee whiz, pal, you can't keep either silent or subtle about making wonderful drinks with pet milk. Too many people know about it and love it. Maybe you don't realize how many children demand hot chocolate and cold drinks made with pet milk because the flavor is so rich and satisfying.
Yeah, but that ain't what I was talking about.
And grown-ups, too. Why, they make malted drinks, egg drinks, chocolate drinks, hot and cold, with pets. Not only because of the added rich flavor, but because they know pet milk is so good and nourishing. And because... Well, wait, let me show you. Molly.
Yes, Mr. Wilcox?
Where do you keep your Mary Lee Taylor cookbook?
In the drawer of the kitchen table, Mr. Wilcox, but...
Well, I'll get it. I want to show you all just what... Watch the light, Raft boy.
Hey, look where you're going, Junior. Don't bump that cart race.
Stand back. Mr. Wilcox, when you come back from the kitchen, bring the butcher knife. I've deflated that thing once, and by the Seven Sisters of Maud Kelly, I can do it again.
Kingsman sing.
Now why should a man have to spend the day working and slaving his life away, and all for a handful of money, money, money? For Adam and Eve everything was free, then up popped the snake in the apple tree, and now everything costs you money, money, money. You earn it, you lend it, you borrow some more and you spend it, you sow it, you reap it, but nobody's learned how to keep it. If no one agrees with your point of view, they'll all change their minds and agree with you if you say it loud with money, money, money. Money, 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 money. Your banker will gladly invest the stuff, but you'll find a mattress is safe enough as long as it comes when you call it, and it's money, money, money. Your sweetie may say she's in love with you, but here's a sure way to find out if it's true. Just tell her you lost all your money. Hold it, money, money, money. You make it, you save it, and some even try to engrave it. You hate it or love it, but nobody gets enough of it. So tie up your shoes and put on your hat and go to the place where the money's at and get yourself a pot full of beautiful money, 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 money. That's wonderful stuff.
This old sawhorse ain't in such bad shape, Molly, outside of a busted leg and a couple of... Molly. Hey, Molly, where are you?
Up here, Magee, at the top of the stairs. Trapped like a mink. How would I get downstairs if I wanted to?
Well, I'd move some of this junk off the stairs here so you could get down, Molly, but frankly, I ain't got any place to put it at the moment.
Don't bother. I wouldn't come down these steps if the house was afire. Which gives me a great idea. You got a map?
Well, I got everything around here someplace. As the guy at the family reunion said when he looked at his 62 grandchildren, it's just amazing how things accumulate. And hey, where are you going?
Back in the bedroom.
Oh.
I'm going to lie down a while. I've got a headache.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry, kiddo. I'll be quiet down here. You sleep.
You're sweet.
Yeah. Use the spare bedroom, though, will you? I got the Christmas tree lights laid out on our bed. I'm going to untangle them just... Must have not have heard me. Hi, George, if anybody comes in here talking loud, I'll pipe them right down so she can sleep. The poor kid. Now, if I get the luggage rack out of the way, toss this umbrella stand over here. That'll give me room to tape up the handle on this busted canoe paddle, and doggone it, who's clanging that doorbell? Quiet out there. Molly's trying to sleep. Oh, it's you, Teeny.
Here it is, Rebecca.
I better talk to you out on the porch, sis. Mrs. McGee's taking a nap. Sit down here. I need a break anyhow, and it's a little crowded inside.
Okay, mister. I want to watch for Willie Toops anyway.
Oh?
He got kept in after school today.
Yeah? You like Willie, sis?
Sure I do, Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
Willie started a strong silent silent type, mister.
Oh, strong, silent type, eh? What'd you get kept in for?
Talking.
Oh.
Oh, he's awful strong, Willie is.
Yeah?
He lifts horses.
Horses.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
We went to his uncle's farm last summer and they had a little baby horse, a teensy little colt about 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And Willie started lifting him every day.
Picked him up every day, huh?
Sure. And every day the colt got bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And every day Willie picked him up and carried him around. And Willie got stronger and the colt bigger. And by the time the little colt was 2 months old, he weighed 300 pounds and he could carry Willie.
Well, that's a very fascinating story, sis. If I'd have missed out on that, I'd have considered myself very lucky.
I certainly do admire men with muscles, mister.
Yeah?
Hey, wiggle your ears for me, mister, will you, please? Will you? Wiggle your ears, huh?
Oh, well, Teeny, I'm afraid that's an art I've long since neglected. What makes you think I can wiggle my ears?
Well, gee, my daddy says your head is full of muscles.
Huh?
And if you get muscles in your head...
Oh, he did he?
Then wiggle... Huh?
I said he did he?
Who did?
Your father.
Did what?
Said that.
Did what?
Said I got muscles in my head.
I know it. He says you got so many muscles in your head you can tip your hat with your hands in your pockets. Oh, there's Willie now. Hey, Willie, wait for me.
Wait for Teeny. I hope I ever meet her father sometime. I hope he's smaller than I am, I hope. Well, I better get at that stuff inside again. I'm going to have to start putting some of it away before... Oh, you up and downstairs, Molly? Thought you were down upstairs. You have a nice nap, Tootsie?
Lovely, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid I overslept a little, though. I
Oh.
must have been up there 3.5 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you ever try to take a nap with a cross-eyed moose staring at you from the next pillow?
I forgot that moose head, Tootsie. I just put it upstairs there because it made me nervous staring at me while I worked. Why didn't you turn him over if he bothered you?
No, sir. I promised I wouldn't touch any of your personal belongings today, and I won't if I
Oh,
never...
well, now, that moose head, that's community property, kiddo. You got every right to turn him over if you want to because it's half yours.
No. Just bulldoze me a path to the kitchen, please. I'll start dinner if there's any room out there.
Hold it a minute, Molly. Come in.
If you can get in. Oh, it's Ole from the Elks Club. Hello, Ole.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hey, you moving?
No, I just been...
Because if you're moving, don't tell somebody yet, McGee. Let's sneak out and buy some real estate.
Buy real estate? Why?
Well, the man at the bank says if McGee ever moves, real estate on this block will go up like a skyrocket. He could make some good money.
Well, I ain't moving, so just forget it.
We can't move more than a foot or two till he puts some of this junk away, Ole. Say, does your house ever look like this?
Oh, you spend the kids at home, Mrs. Which is always. You know, my biggest kid, Big Sven, he goes for the Navy this week. He's in the submarine.
Well, good for him. Is he going overseas?
No, he goes underseas. He's in the submarine. He gets orders today, but they don't say where he goes. You know, the whole thing is very confidential, you know.
Oh. Sub Rosa, huh?
No, submarine.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a big boat that when it floats, it sinks. And they got no windows, so when the lookout looks out, he looks out the stovepipe.
Oh, yeah. I know. I saw submarines.
Matter of fact, we probably have one under this junk somewhere. Everything else is here.
Well, all this junk reminds me I better get down to Elks Club, Mrs. I got to clean out the basement today. You know, I thought you might help me, McGee, but I see you're busy.
Hey, wait a minute. Boy, I'm never too busy to help out a friend, Ole. By George, I don't do enough around that Elks Club as it is.
Well, you've certainly done enough around here. Look at this
Where's
room.
my hat? You go start your car, Ole. I'll be right back.
McGee, you...
Now, don't you worry about me, Molly. Don't you worry. I'll be back in plenty of time for supper. And, by the way, Molly, when you get a minute, put my stuff away, will you? Well, come on, Ole. Ah, she's a good kid, Ole.
Yeah.
Put my stuff away, he said. I won't put it away, but I'll sure move it. Seasham. Mahjong set. Greek typewriter. Put it away.
Fibber and Molly return in a moment. You know, there are some foods Mother buys only for Baby, but she buys pet evaporated milk for everyone in the family. For Baby, of course, and for the older youngsters, too. Because Mother knows a child needs good, whole milk through all its growing years. She knows, too, that it's a good idea to keep Pet Milk handy for the coffee drinkers in the family. And just about every day in the year, she uses Pet Milk to add goodness and wholesomeness to favorite family dishes. Yes, Mother knows best. And she knows that Pet Milk, good, sweet country milk concentrated to double richness, is truly an all-purpose, all-family milk. When you have Pet Milk in the house, you don't need any other kind. So the next time you go to your grocer's, get a supply of Pet Milk. Pet Milk, the first evaporated milk, the first choice of good cooks.
Well, Molly, I got everything all straightened out. Neat as a pin. Everything put away in its proper place. You proud of me?
Yes, I am, dearie. And now that you've helped Ole straighten up the Elks Club, come on home and straighten up your own house.
Oh, okay. Good night.
Good night, all.
They say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and sometimes just the thought of absence has the same effect. Well, at least that's what happens in Pet Milk's heartwarming Story of the Week next Saturday morning on the Mary Lee Taylor program. And that's only half of the treat in store for you. The other half is Pet Milk's husband-tested recipe for chocolate nut pudding, which Mary Lee will give you, complete with her own special cooking secrets. Remember, for this double feature program, tune in to your NBC station next Saturday morning for Mary Lee Taylor.
Big Town is next. Saturday, listen for Arturo Toscanini on NBC.
Well, Silver, wait those thrilling days of yesteryear with the Lone Ranger up next.
Horse with a speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early days of the western United States. His strength and courage were always on the side of right against might. No man could match his daring and resourcefulness. And nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days when the West was young and the Lone Ranger was fighting the greatest battle of his entire career. Miles to the south of Spanish Flats and close to the treacherous Rio Grande, a small group of vicious outlaws met in a rocky glade. Each one was a leader in his own right, and when all had arrived and tethered their horses, close by a slim man with muscles of whipcord stepped into the center of the group. He paused a moment for attention, then spoke to the others in a voice as cold as chilled steel.
Well, I see that Stub got in touch with all of us. All of us that are left alive, anyhow. And then maybe he told you the big boss said I was to take charge of this, to give all the orders.
Yeah, he did.
Anybody got any objections? You, Buzzard?
I reckon you're the man with his job, Dirk.
Nolan? All right with me. Yeah, don't nobody keep still now and kick later. If any of you don't like the notion of taking my orders, speak up now while it's time. Well, then that's settled. Now to get on with it. There's 3 fellas, maybe a 4th if it's true he's still living, who've been raising Cain with us. The 3 we know about for sure are Graham, that's the hombre that owns that big ranch, Arizona Lawson, the gent with a dog that hunts wolves, and Tonto the redskin. Tonto was the Lone Ranger's sidekick. I guess you've all heard of that hombre. Well, the masked man's the fourth. Gunner was supposed to have killed him. But lately I've heard there's a chance that he's still living.
Just before they hung Mendoza, he swore up and down it was the Lone Ranger tricked him into attacking Laramie when Laramie and his gang had the sheriff cornered.
Yeah, I know. 2 months ago at a meeting like this, boys, there would have been a dozen of us. But now, look. Gunner's gone. Turk Rigby, Red Camp, Laramie, and Mendoza. Boys, that ain't the worst. 2 months ago, we had this part of the country in the hollow of our hand. There wasn't nobody inside the law or out there to open his mouth against us, except in Graham. Not even the sheriff. But now, because we've had some tough luck, well, they're feeling their oats and they're raring to go. Boys, we're sitting on blasting powder.
With a short fuse?
Yeah. So there's just one answer to that, fellas. Either we get things under control again, or we're through.
What's the big boss say?
Yeah, to show folks around here just who is boss.
How?
By striking hard, fast, and often.
Meaning?
I mean that until things are back like they was, we're letting everything else go. Now, each one of us has been after all the cash he can get. Well, from now on, that'll come second. Some of us have had one kind of work to do, some of us another. But now we all got just the same job.
And that, Dirk?
Round up your men. See to your horses and guns. Starting tomorrow, we smash them. Raise, burn, blast the coyotes to glory. We're fighting our way back on top. Drill them, men. Blast them down.
During the night. They never give us no warning. Busted in the door, shot down Sam when he weren't even armed. You're to blame for that, Mr. Graham. Why couldn't you leave good enough alone? Why'd you have to call the Lone Ranger and Tonto and Arizona Lawson here? If you hadn't done that, them outlaws would have left us alone.
Mrs. Larson, please sit down.
I won't sit down in your house.
You're tired and overwrought.
Ain't I got a right with my husband killed and my home burnt down?
Isn't that all the more reason for me to continue the work I've started? Would you want me to stop while killers and thieves can still do such things around Spanish Flats?
We were so happy.
You still have your son?
I had 2 boys once.
There, you see. Wasn't it Gunner who murdered Ted?
Yes.
But that was before I'd even started this fight. Doesn't that prove you can't be sure of life, even if you do sit back and let these thieves have their own way? Men, good men, honest men, lost their lives. Lost their lives when not a one of us had the courage to fight for decency and law.
But the things those crooks have done these last 2 days, why, there's never been anything like it.
Because they're desperate. They know they're being defeated.
We wasn't the only ones burnt out. I could name you a dozen.
I know. I've heard.
No, Sam wasn't the only one shot.
No, nor is it likely we've seen the end of this. If anything, conditions will get worse before they're better again. But we must recognize that fact and face it. My friends and I have made a good start, Mrs. Larson. It'd be a shame to stop now.
Won't nobody help you?
You had almost no help anyhow.
You almost had 'em fooled. You almost had folks thinking they could battle them outlaws and not be made to suffer for it, but they won't be fooled like that again.
You've talked to the people around?
I have.
And they feel as you do?
They do.
Then I'm sorry. But it doesn't alter things. Tonto and Arizona and I hoped that finally we'd aroused all of you to the point where you'd have the courage to fight for yourselves. But if you haven't, well, we'll just have to carry on alone.
Mr. Graham.
Yes?
Ted's gone. And Sam's gone. All that's left to me now is my boy Frank.
A good boy, too.
But I warn you, if anything should happen to him and it's on account of this war you started, I'll see that you're punished if it's the last thing I do.
If anything does happen to Frank,
Well?
the blame will not be ours, but on the outlaws who made this war necessary.
Well, that's what I come to say, and you needn't think I don't mean it.
Very well, but what's the
All
idea
right,
of...
here we are. Get in there. You needn't push me. Come on, Tonto.
What's this, Arizona?
Graham, we found this hombre hiding in a straw stack. Half the place where he'd worked had been burned down. Said he heard the crooks had done it making some more plans, but wouldn't tell us nothing till he'd seen you. Mister, you're here. Now, you'd better open up before I go to work on you.
I ain't telling nothing till I know I ain't going to be harmed by it. You can't make me tell.
What is it, man? Out with it.
You promise they won't get me, Mr. Graham? You give me your word?
No one will touch you. If you know anything, tell us.
Tonight.
Well?
Just about sundown, I mean.
Oh, go and quit your sawing.
You let go.
Leave him alone, Arizona. He's frightened enough now. Go on, man.
They're going to raid Mr. Mander's place.
Oh, poor man.
You know that for a fact.
It's the truth, Mr. Graham. I swear it is. Heard them crooks talking. They didn't know I was anywheres around.
And you couldn't tell Arizona or Tonto? You had to wait to come here before you let us know?
I never heard of them till just lately. How'd I know they wouldn't get me in trouble for it?
You've waited so long, we've hardly got time to get there.
But I just...
Crazy idiot. Tonto, run out to the bunkhouse and get all my men. Tell them to saddle and bring their arms.
Tonto, do it.
Hurry. You go to town, Arizona, and tell the sheriff.
Right.
Tell him if he wants to help, fine. But if he won't, he can go to Thunder.
I'll tell him plenty.
Mrs. Larson, you'll have to excuse me.
Well,
And you'd better come, too.
No, sirree. You ain't going to get me to go up against them crooks. I've done too much already. You ain't going to make me stir.
Stay here, then. It doesn't matter. We need men. Hi there. Get to the saddle. We're riding. That's Mander's place below us. They've not got here yet. No need to go down there, though. We wouldn't get any better reception than anywhere else. Spread out and take the cover. Those coyotes show up, wait for my signal, then let them have it. Go on, get out of sight. Now, you stay with me. We'll get behind that ridge. Come on.
Get him up, Scout.
Come on, boy.
Get him up.
Come on.
We wait long time, them not come.
I can't understand it. Think they could have seen us ride up, Tonto?
Not know.
Almost 2 hours past sundown now.
Ah.
I don't like to think we're just wasting our time.
That's right.
But on the other hand, if we left and they showed up afterwards, we'd never get through blaming ourselves. Wait.
What matter?
Listen. That might be them now.
Well, that's just one horse.
Oh.
Ride fast, though.
Wonder who the dickens it is.
It's Arizona.
Huh?
You hear, dog? That's Wolf.
Right. Arizona! Hi! This way!
That's you, Graham?
Over here!
I'm over here.
He's here. Where's the sheriff? What's up?
Just a second. Get up, get up.
Hold there.
Quiet, Wolf. Well, what's the news?
Fellas, we've made a fine mess of it. There's trouble. Know who that gent was gave us this tip, Graham?
Never saw the fellow before.
He belonged to one of them gangs.
What do you mean?
He told us that story of purpose.
Why would he do
They
that?
made sure we wouldn't be nowhere near Spanish Flat.
Hey.
And then the whole bunch hit that town and half tore it to pieces. That's bad. Tricked us. So fare you well. Tonto, without the Lone Ranger to do our thinking, I reckon we ain't worth a powder to blow us out of our saddles.
Hey, there's another fire. Must be the Hornet shop.
Anybody hurt bad? Which way them crooks ride? Ought to get after them.
After them? Why, you fools! Don't you see that's just why all this happened? Don't you see we ain't got a chance fighting them outlaws? You all want to get killed? You want your homes burned down like mine was, and these places are?
he's right. He better watch our step.
If you have to do anything, find Graham in Arizona and Tonto and make him stop. They're the cause of this. And you won't have a minute's peace till you teach those men to mind their own business.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. When Graham, his crew, Tonto, and Arizona returned to Graham's ranch house that same night, they were met by an angry delegation that seemed to number half the residents of Spanish Flats. Only the threat of gunplay finally persuaded the crowd to disperse.
Get out and keep out. If you're not off my place inside the next minute, I'll order my men to fire.
We're going, but don't you forget what we told you. Oh, this is you fellas' fault. Come on, men. All right, come on.
Blind idiots.
See, they keep going, Bart.
Come on inside, Arizona. You too, Tonto. Why can't they see what we're doing is for their own good? I gain by it, of course, if these outlaws are wiped out. But you men are accepting all the danger, and you haven't even a stake in the district.
That's always the way, Graham. Tonto and me didn't get into this fight looking for gratitude. That's right.
Frankly, I'm discouraged. You and me both. It's hard to know whether to go on or not. The three of us can do only so much.
Four of us, you mean?
You think the Lone Ranger's alive?
Don't you, after that mix-up down by the Rio?
Well, I did think so then.
Well, what's changed your mind?
I can't understand why, if he's living and able to get around, he hasn't made contact with us. Certainly he would if he could.
Uh-huh. I've been wondering about the same thing. Even you ain't seen him, have you, Tonto?
No, me not see him.
There you are. And they've been closer than if they was brothers.
I'm beginning to suspect the masked man who caused Laramie and Mendoza to fight wasn't the Lone Ranger at all. They fought over money, didn't they?
Something about Laramie supposed to send cash to Mendoza for one of their deals. And Mendoza not getting it.
In other words, the whole thing could have been brought about by some outlaw who decided to appropriate that money for himself.
Yeah.
So you see, we have no reason for hope after all. And without the Lone Ranger, how can we go on when we have to fight not only those outlaws and the man behind them who does their scheming, but public opinion as well?
It's plenty hard.
Gosh, I don't know, but
I'm going to be honest with you. I think... What was that?
It's window.
Graham, what you going to do?
See who's out there.
Oh, go and be careful. Maybe it's a trick.
I can't help that. I'm going to find out.
What? Hey, what was that thrown in, huh? Who's that? Who's that just rode away, Graham? Can you see him?
Hey, hello there. Hello.
Vamoosed.
Well, whoever he was, it looks as if he came here just to throw that stone through the window. Pick it up, Tonto.
It's not stone.
Huh?
It's bullet.
What do you mean?
It's bullet. A silver. And here message. It wrapped round bullet.
A bullet of silver?
Why, that must mean...
It's Lone Ranger.
Then that must have been the masked man who rode away just now. Wouldn't answer when we called. Well, I'll be... Tonto, what's that message say?
Who fella named Frank Larson?
Frank Larson? His mother was here this afternoon.
And what him do?
Didn't you say the kid had some kind of a job with the railroad, Graham?
He's the operator and agent at Roseville.
Where's that?
About 40 miles northeast of Spanish Flats. It's not a town, really. Just a siding where cattle are loaded occasionally. Why? What's Frank Larson and Roseville to do with that note?
Here. You read it.
Hi there, Wolf. Well, glad to see us back. That's enough. Down, boy. Down. Tonto, you sure you're savvy what you're doing? I kind of hate to pack to leave this place. It's been a right good place to camp.
Me know what me do.
Well, if you say so.
There, blankets. Make roll. Tie saddle.
Uh-huh.
Then we leave.
Dirk, what we didn't do to Spanish Flats last night weren't worth doing.
Yeah, that's right. Townsfolk running around like chickens with their heads cut off. And when I think of Graham and Tonto waiting at the Mander's place half of the evening on my say-so. Well, I'd have given a meal just to see their faces when they learnt the truth. Honest, I'd have given $2 million.
Well, you handled that all right.
Didn't I, though?
Yeah, so far everything we figured on has gone through the way it was planned. We got 'em turning yellow again, boys. Finish the job the way we started, and they'll never make us trouble no more.
You're right, Dirk. There comes the buzzard.
Huh? Oh. Hi. Hi there. Let's see what he's got to say.
Howdy, boys. Hello, Dirk.
Hiya.
Morning, Nolan. Morning.
Well,
Dirk, I reckon our worry's just about over.
yeah? What do you mean?
I hung around Graham's place just like you said.
Yeah, huh?
First off, the folks in town was out there raising cane. Didn't leave till Graham's crew showed their iron.
Yeah. What else happened?
Nothing much, as long as I stayed by the ranch house. Crew drifted along the bunkhouse after a while. Once I heard some fella gallop off on the far side of the house. Didn't get a good look at him.
Uh-huh.
But that ain't what's important. Later on, Tonto and Arizona came out. They cut over west, and I followed. Guess where they was going.
Get on with it.
Their camp. And guess what they done when they got there?
Come on, Ed. Tell what you got to tell and get it over with.
They packed up and headed north.
Huh?
Don't you see, Dirk? They're pulling stakes. They're clearing out.
How do you know?
Ain't that doing a heap of guessing?
Yeah, would be if that was all I had to go on. But it ain't. I heard them talking before they rode off.
Yeah?
And they said if even the folks they was trying to help would turn against them, they was through. Said they'd had enough. They're gone and they ain't coming back. Yeah. What do you think of that?
You sure they said that? Buzzard, you sure you didn't hear it because you wanted to hear it?
Think I'm a fool?
Well, I just asked.
What do you say, Dirk?
Man, we've all heard the news. Go through with what we planned for tonight, and I reckon our job is done.
Is that the dispatcher calling you, son?
Right now he's talking to the operator on down the line.
Oh. What train's that outside?
Ma, you can ask more questions in a room full of schoolmarms. Shucks, that ain't no train. Just a switch engine.
Switch engine?
Yeah, I've been here almost a week now. Lazy J and Dick Barton's spread have been shitting cattle. Well, Ma, you ain't told me yet if they've caught any of them skunks at Raider Town.
Nary a one. Won't either.
No?
They ain't loco. What can the law do? What can any of us do against outlaws like them? Got half a dozen gangs. Got hundreds of square miles of hills and canyons to hide out in. Don't care whether they kill or not. In fact, they'd rather. And behind them, making their plans and giving them their orders, that boss of theirs nobody's ever been able to learn anything about. No, son. The best thing to do is walk soft and try to keep from riling them.
Well, maybe. Oh, gosh, what time's that clock say?
11:30.
So it's going near midnight, and the eastbound almost pulling in the Spanish Flats right now. Hey, Ma, stand aside from that telegraph
Son,
speed.
what's wrong?
Well, I have to get a hold of the operator there, so we tell the conductor to stop back by the side when they get here.
Why, son?
Because if the eastbound don't, it's going to go slap bang into just about 50 dozen cattle cars.
Oh.
So I better hurry that. Oh, what the?
Touch that key, young fella, and you'll stop laughing.
Well, I got to send a message.
I reckon not.
But if I don't, there'll be a smash-up.
Yeah, I know.
There's the eastbound now. That's her whistling. Hey, keep back in the shadows. You recollect what Dirk told you?
That's the train.
What if it is?
Ain't we gonna
We ain't stirring till after it's hit. Think everything's all right, Nolan? Shouldn't Dirk have come around? He's keeping guard over young Larson at the station. How could he? Thought maybe he might bring the kid here. Wasn't no need of it.
Hear that? He's tearing right along.
Yeah, it won't be long now.
Station's just the other side of that line of trees. We hear the crash plane. Wish we could see it. You'll stay under cover till we know nothing's gone wrong. Now shut up.
She's passing. You can see her headlight.
Get ready, fellas. When she hits, we ride.
Must be almost at the station now.
What's wrong?
Huh?
Is it taking a long time?
Wait.
That's it! Grab your hardware, boys! Let's go! Get up there!
The train stopped and she ain't been hurt one bit.
Well, we heard a smash.
What in thunder? Hold there! Hey, look there. That's what we heard. Huh? Them old flat cars they had stowed away on their side. Look, the switch engine got behind them and shoved them off the track into that draw.
All right, fellas, let him have it. How many you
Arizona and Tonto.
All them fellas with them. Where'd they come from?
We're surrounded. Watch out. We ain't got a chance. They're coming from everywhere.
You stand still. Hold your fire, fellas. They ain't gonna put up no fight. Or if you do, you polecats, just try it and see what happens.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Doggone you, buzzard. You said Arizona and Tonto left the county.
But I heard him say that. Just what we wanted you to hear say. Tonto knew you was trailing us and said that just to fool you.
Wait, you...
Steady, fella.
We ride. Tell train crew.
And they loaded the eastbound with every tough army they had on the payroll.
Was it you dirty double-crosser? I'll bet you worked with them. You fixed this up. You told them just what we was playing.
No, I didn't, honest fellas. I never said a word. You can't blame me. If I thought you did, buzzard, I'd shoot you down even if they got me right afterward.
No, I
Shut
tell
up.
you.
Shut up. No, gents. What this fellow you call Buzzard gave your game away.
Well, then who was...
It was a man you ain't never laid eyes on. Even though he was spying on your camp when you schemed to do this.
What?
He sent us your scheme on a bullet.
A bullet?
A bullet of silver.
Silver?
And if you want to know what to call him, just say the Lone Ranger.
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
Hunt the biggest of all game with the Green Hornet and Cato coming up next.
The Green Hornet. He hunts the biggest of all game, public enemies who try to destroy our America. With his faithful valet Cato, Britt Reed, daring young publisher, matches wits with the underworld, risking his life that criminals and racketeers within the law may feel its weight by the sting of the Green Hornet. Ride with Britt Reed in the thrilling adventure, The Boathouse Mystery. The Green Hornet strikes again.
Come on, Cato.
Yes, sir. I'm coming. As the two sinister figures left the low black car and moved toward the waterfront, the swirling gray fog seemed to reach out with entwining tentacles, like some slinky, malignant creature of the sea desirous of preventing their approach. Tentacles which reluctantly dissolved into wispy swirls of enveloping mist as they came in contact with the dreaded figure of the Green Hornet and his companion.
I think I see outline of small buildings slightly to left, Mr. Britt.
Yes. That should be Rich's boathouse, Cato. Flash your light on my watch.
Oh, yes, sir. What time it say?
11:30.
Axford tell you police close in on boathouse at midnight?
That's right. The anonymous note the police received said that the man responsible for the disappearance of the plans for the Richwood anti-atomic bomb device would meet with the Green Hornet in Richwood's unused boathouse at midnight tonight.
What do you think motive be for sending note?
First, to point suspicion at the Hornet. And second, to get rid of the men who actually made the deal. Evidently, they don't know the top agent who finally got the plans.
While authorities busy grilling men they hope to catch, the top spy may get away, no doubt.
I want to get to those men before the police do. Maybe we'll get a clue to the one who sent that note and involved the Hornet. Come on.
Britt and Cato cautiously approached the small building and soon stood before a door on the land side of the boathouse. A door which evidently opened into a room above the mooring platform.
I see a dim light inside.
Yes. We'll probably have to force that old door. Get ready. We'll hit it together.
I'm ready.
All right. Now.
The Green Hornet!
Don't move, Norton. As head of Richwood's Enterprises, you're probably the man...
Something wrong.
Yes. Cato, we came too late.
Is he...
Norton's dead. Murdered.
Murdered?
Yes. Now, look here.
Knife in back.
It must have happened just before we came. They fixed this room up as sort of an office to have something as a meeting place.
Killer getting away.
Yes. That trap door over there must lead to the landing below. Come on. Too late.
Hey, here. You dimwits, this guy's dead, and you let the killer get away.
Look at this, sir. That must have been the hardest even in that motorboat.
We'll make sure. Search the place, some of you men. Best you get outside in case someone else tries to get away.
Hey, look, Sarge. That trapdoor being closed open.
We'll go down and have a look.
We'll be trapped. What do we do? We'll go to the end of the landing and dive in. We'll have to swim for it. Come on. Swim underwater. Head for the riverbank a few hundred feet below here. Let's go. Come on.
Can't tell, the fog's too thick. Come on, we'll go up and have the boys search the riverbank.
If you didn't hit him, he'd have to climb to the bank on one side or the other. That water's cold.
What did you shoot? What happened? There's no time to answer questions now. Spread out along the riverbank. Somebody jumped in the water. Get going, everybody. As sure as the mess, Ashford. That dead guy in there is Mr. Norton, Richwood's right-hand man.
So that's who he is. Holy cross, you think... What's that?
No, be. The one we shot at must have been the Green Hornet, and his pals got away in the boat.
Sure. Now we know it was the Hornet who killed Norton. Jumping snake, Sarge. I gotta get to a phone. This will sure be a scoop for the Daily Sentinel.
Hey, lady.
Head of Richwood Enterprises and disappears of important plans. There you are, sir. Straight by search for Green Hornet. There you are, sir. Read all about it.
Good morning, Katie. Reading yet?
Yes, he is. So you'd better stop for going around slamming doors, I heard. He's in his office talking to Gunny.
Wonder what got him out of bed so early.
Funny, but I never thought to ask him. Anyhow, it isn't that he's in early, it's just that you're so late.
Late, am I? After chasing around most of the night getting scoops and things for the Sentinel, while you were snoozed away at home taking it in?
Okay, skip it. After all, I guess the Daily Sentinel would fold up if we didn't have you to bring in the headlines.
You can say that again, Casey. I'm the old... you and your sarcastics. I'm going in to see Reed.
What for, Gunnigan? I did think it's Norton. Oh, good morning, Axel.
Hi, Reed. Hi, Gunnigan.
Morning. What are you saying, Chief?
Well, as I was saying, I did think Norton was mixed up in the disappearance of those plans. But now I'm inclined to think otherwise.
Say now, Reed, how can you sit there and say that, I'd like to know? Showing us as plain as the nose in your face that Norton was dealing with the Hornet who stabbed him in the back so as to get out of paying off, no doubt.
Chief, as long as you keep your opinions to yourself, let us print the news as we get it, I won't argue with you. The authorities consider it an open-shut case against Norton and the Hornet. If they catch that murdering Hornet, they'll get a lead to the missing plans and the spy he passed them on to.
Well, perhaps. But it seems to me if they'd find the person who sent that anonymous note, they'd get a direct lead to the one who has the missing plan.
It's easy to see that the Hornet himself sent that printed note to cops' headquarters, Reed. He wanted to put the finger on Norton.
Oh, really? Seems to me the finger's been put on the Green Hornet.
But like Sarge says, 'tis the Hornet himself who put himself on the spot by playing smart with the cops.
Is that the general opinion around headquarters?
Sure. And why not? I'd like to know.
And they're concentrating their search on the Hornet alone?
That's right. And to my way of thinking, Reed, it's time for you to start worrying. That it is.
Why do you say that?
Here, what's the meaning of that crack, Axford?
Well, now, when they catch that spalpeen, Reed will have to pay out a lot of dough for that standard reward, won't he?
Oh, that. By the way, Gunnigan, send someone over to interview Richwood.
Okay, Chief.
Well, let me go, Gunnigan. I'll get him to talk. That I will.
Sure. Go ahead. But don't be gone all day.
Huh. Why do you have to
Go
say
on,
that
Axford,
now?
get going. And let me know how you make out.
Sure. I'm on my way, Reed.
Frankly, I'm very much interested in this case. And perhaps Richwood will say something that'll give us a new slant.
I'll get to see him, and I'll tell you exactly what he says, Reed. See you both later. So long. Reed, I'm glad you're here. I can tell you and Gunnigan about the interview at the same time.
Back at last, sir.
I knew when I let him go he'd be all day getting to say Richwood. Here it is, almost 6 o'clock.
Keep your shirt on, will you? Big shots like Richwood are hard to see. Catch it, walk right in.
Oh, forget it, Axford. It's all right. What about the interview?
Well, now, it was this way, Reed. I went to Richwood's place, and after waiting for a heck of a long time, I got in to see him. I told him who I was and all, so he seemed quite willing to talk.
Sit down, Mr. Axford. Make yourself comfortable.
Thank you, Mr. Richwood. Don't care if I do.
I understand you want my views on the unfortunate happenings of last night.
That's right, sir.
I must say it's been a great shock to me, especially coming on top of the loss of our plans.
Sure, I know. But, about Mr. Norton, do you think that
I
he
know
would
what you're going to ask, Mr. Axford. And I know, of course, what the authorities believe, what I must believe, much as it hurts me to do so. And that is that Mr. Norton, whom I trusted above all others, betrayed that trust by selling those plans to foreign agents. Dealing, of course, with the Green Hornet.
That he did, sir. Did you have any suspicions at all about Norton when you first missed those plans?
No. As a matter of fact, if it hadn't been that the police received that note and then heard the Hornet leaving the motorboat, I would have sworn that Norton died with his boots on, sitting there at the desk over some company work.
Did you know about that office in the boathouse?
Yes. Mr. Norton wanted privacy to write a scientific book. I suggested he use the old boathouse I owned up the river.
It is hard to believe he'd pull a stunt on you like he did, Mr. Richwood.
Yes, it is. At 10 o'clock, we sat over a bit of brandy in the study of my home, talking. Then he left. I had little thought then that at 11:30 he'd be slumped over the desk in the boathouse with a knife in his back.
Too bad. Do you think the plans will turn up?
If they find the Hornet, they'll get a lead to the foreign agent I'm sure has those plans. Well, there isn't much more I can tell you, Mr. Axford, except that the loss of those plans and the murder of Norton.
That's about all he had to say, Reed. Your friend heard about Norton turning against him and selling those plans.
I can understand his feelings, actually.
You better write up that interview and give it a rewrite.
Okay, I'll get right on it.
I'll get a spread ready in case we catch the Hornet, Chief.
It's best to be prepared, Gunnigan. Let's hope they do catch Norton's killer in time to recover those missing plans. It'll make quite a spread for the Daily Sentinel.
Here's some more letters to the editor, Mr. Reed.
Did you look them all over in this case?
Yes, sir. And there's one on the housing situation that's quite interesting, and I thought...
Well, you weed them out and send Gunnigan the ones you think should be printed. It's almost 7 o'clock. You'd better call it a day.
I wanted to finish the letters you gave me, and, well, I'll be leaving shortly.
No use killing yourself.
Well, I've always said I wanted to die with my boots on. So if you find me someday slumped over my desk, that'll be it.
Well, let's hope nothing like that happens to you.
What's on your mind? Another letter? I won't mind if you want to dictate.
No, nothing. No, I was just thinking of something else.
Oh. Well, I just wondered.
I'm going to call it a day. You'd better do the same. I'll see you in the morning.
All right. Now I'll get these letters to Gunnigan in the morning. Good night.
Good night. So Gunnigan's got a spread ready in case they catch the Hornet, eh? Maybe he'll get a different spread to print.
Miss O'Reilly,
Cato, forget about dinner. As soon as I get home, we'll be going out on the Black Beauty.
Yes, sir. It's ready.
Good. And see that our weapons are in order. Tonight, we're going out to catch Norton's murderer.
And now, back to the Green Hornet. After telephoning to Cato, his faithful Filipino valet, and the only person knowing his identity as the Green Hornet, Britt Reed left his office at the Cecil building and went to his apartment where Cato was waiting.
You say over phone we go to catch murderer of Norton. You know who murderer is, Mr. Britt?
I think I do, Cato. But we'll have the proof if I can make him show his hand.
Well, how you do that?
I haven't time now to explain. I'll tell you about it as we drive. Everything ready?
Yes, sir. I check gas weapons and get Black Beauty ready.
Good. Let's get going.
Stepping through a secret panel in the rear of a closet in his bedroom, Britt Reed and Cato went along a narrow passageway built within the walls of the apartment itself. This passage led to an adjoining building which fronted on a dark side street. Though supposedly abandoned, this building served as the hiding place for the sleek, superpowered Black Beauty, streamlined car of the Green Hornet. Britt Reed pressed a button. The great car roared into life. A section of the wall in front raised automatically, then closed as the gleaming Black Beauty sped into the darkness.
What you tell me make it seem you suspect the right man this time, Mr. Britt. But how you get proof?
Cato, what I want to do is to figure out some way to get him and his spy friends together at the boathouse. Then I'd tip off the police.
Well, it's not easy to get them to go to the boathouse.
I know, but there must be some way. If I can Cato, stop near a drugstore so I can use the phone. I'll leave my disguise in the car and talk to him on the phone.
Yes, sir. Well, there's a drugstore in this vicinity. I stopped there.
Good. Step on it.
A short time later, Britt Reed had entered a phone booth in a drugstore and dialed a number. He was talking in a terse monotone.
Now get this, and let me do the talking. I've already told you I'm the Green Hornet. The man you sent to kill Norton knows now that you tried to frame him as well as myself. I can take it. He can't. He's planning to leave evidence in the old boathouse that will point to you and the man who got the plans. I'm being hunted, so I'm laying low. You'll have to get that evidence yourself before he tips off the cops. I'll come to you when I get the chance for my share of the dough you got. It'll be my pay for this tip-off. So long. I think I convinced them, Cato. Get going.
What we do now, Mr. Britt?
If things work out as I hope they will, we'll have work to do at the old boathouse. The fog is blowing in from the river, so there'll be less chance of detection.
Well, maybe man phone police and tell that Hornet call him. Then maybe police come here.
If he phones the police, it'll be proof that my suspicions about him are wrong.
But you still think he guilty party?
I'm almost sure of it, Cato. He slipped up on too many points, as I told you. We'll know for certain before very long.
Good. Our work is done for the time being. When I return to this city, I'll have more for you to do.
That was a good idea, putting a finger on Norton, Weiser. But there's one thing I'd like to know.
What's that?
Why did the cops come to that boathouse just as I was leaving? I just got away in the boat by the skin of my teeth.
Forget it, Good. Main thing is you did get away. You've been well paid for your work. Yeah. All packed and ready to leave for the airport.
The good thing it was foggy in the river last night. Them cops shoot straight. They would have plugged me.
I told you to forget it. What difference does it make?
Oh, I've been thinking. You know, I almost didn't go through with it. Only your friend promised to pay so much. When I got to the boathouse last night and Norton met me at the landing, he was kind of friendly. Then we went up inside. All my pals call me Gus.
Oh. Sit down, Gus.
No, thanks. I ain't staying long. I was told you were bringing a boat over to leave in the boathouse, so I agreed to come here and see if you made it all right. I have some work to do anyway.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm working on a book. Scientific book. If you wait a little while, I'll drive you into town.
You ain't going into town, Norton.
What do you mean?
Just sit right where you are. This is a knife I'm holding in your back. I said you ain't going into town, see?
You must be joking. Why would you...
Maybe the cops will think you sold those plans they're looking for. Or maybe...
That's it. No, listen. I have a wife and child. It's a Christmas season.
Stop the bellowing. You ain't the only guy that's got a kid. As I said before, you ain't going to town, Norton. Oh, I just got to thinking about him taking a rap for something he didn't do. Me making an orphan out of his kid at Christmas time. I was an orphan, you know.
Don't be an idiot. His child isn't an orphan. His mother's still living.
Well, half an orphan then. Just ain't right.
Hello? Oh, you. I'm in a hurry, so...
What's that you say?
He did, huh? He told you what? He's planning to do what? I see. Now I understand why he was talking to me as he was. Yes. Yes. Yes, I'll meet you there. And bring Gus with me. He'll come all right. Goodbye.
Who's that? Why is it? What was he talking about?
You'll soon find out, Gus. Get your things on. We're going to meet somebody at the boathouse.
Sure. Who are we going to meet?
Someone who wants to see you particularly. You'll take the boat. I told him you'd be sure to come along.
Oh, why should I go along?
What? Well, I was afraid you wouldn't want to. So I'm using this gun. It's a good thing you're so obliging. Come on.
Okay, Cato. The man I'd phoned is in there waiting for the others. Let's hope they come soon.
I hope they come before police. Maybe we make mistake to call police so soon, Mr. Britt.
Listen. There's a motorboat coming to the boathouse.
It's them, no doubt.
I'm sure of it.
Can you see anything?
Oh, fog's too thick. There's no doubt they've gone inside with the boat. Come on. We'll go to the end of the boathouse facing the water. There's something we have to do before the police arrive. Hurry.
Quiet now. We want to sneak up on them.
Okay, sir.
You got your gun, Sarge? Of course not, expert. I just point my finger at killers and they flop over dead. Have I got me gun? There's the rest of the body. Yes, just to see us here. It'll be over in a minute. Quiet, all of you. Quiet. Listen to me. You boys get down to the riverbank in case they make a break. Axford, you and Cassidy can come along with me for hard times. Come on, then. Now stick right with me, both of you. I'm right behind you, Sarge. We'll stop here. If we move close to the door, we might hear them talking. Quiet now.
What? The ranch is going to be tested. That's the officer who found out who their strength and the board the effective killed off. What are you talking about? I didn't plan anything like that. So that's why the cops came here and almost got me, huh? With a frame-up. You too much, Gus. All right, hold on. You think I'm dumb? Tell me. Who tipped you off about me? Green Hornet. What? Are you guys dopey? That means he's playing the bunch of us for the killing of the steal of the plan. That's right, boss.
We heard enough. They're ready. Get them ready to swim. Bust in the door. Stop the stick. They ain't here.
Sarge, they're going down to the boat landing.
Come on.
They're getting away. Stop. Come back. Hey, will you stop? Somebody put a chain up across the back of the boathouse.
Get your hands up.
Don't shoot again.
The next one will hit the mark, killer. Now put him up, all three of you. Holy crow. Sarge, one of them's Mr. Richwood. Sure, he's the one they call boss. We're taking them all in for murder, and we got a spy in the bargain, looks like. Call the boys, Cassidy.
truck opening stop motorboat very quick, Mr. Britt.
Yes. We weren't a bit too soon either.
It's good you think of two things Rich would say that get him away.
3 statements, Cato. Remember? I told you when he talked to Wexford, he said first that the Hornet left the boathouse in a motorboat. Second, that Norton died with his boots on, sitting slumped over his desk. Evidently, the killer told him that. But we know he fell from the chair and lay several feet from the desk.
Well, that's true.
And third, he said he thought that at 11:30, Norton would be slumped over his desk with a knife in his back.
We only ones know exact time Norton died.
No, the killer also knew. But the police found Norton almost 10 minutes later. I guess that Richwood was involved when he was so definite in his facts.
The capture of Richwood and Spy's clear name of Norton and Green Hornet.
Yes. Of course, it isn't much, but it gives some consolation to Norton's widow to know her husband was innocent of the charges against him.
Oh, it's too bad he'd be murdered. It not mean a very Merry Christmas holidays for wife and child.
Oh, the Sentinel will see to it that they have some compensation for their loss. At least the child will have a good Christmas. We'll make sure of that.
The people will not think much of Green Hornet. But tonight he show up traitor, help police catch spies, and clear man's name. A good Christmas present to city.
Cato, you make me feel like Santa Claus. Well, at least we've done our part to clear up the boathouse mystery, if nothing more. Definite. The Green Hornet's finished his job, and Britt Reed's tired.
Confucius say, a man who leads double life sleep with one eye open. Britt Reed never get much rest, while Green Hornet keep him always on the move, Mr. Britt.
Cato, you said a mouthful.
Crime doesn't stand a chance against Dick Tracy. Up next.
And now, Dick's Funny Clowns. Stand by for action. Let's go, men. Yes, it's Dick Tracy, protector of law and order.
For Tracy fans, here's more about colorful Rube Waddell, the all-time great baseball pitcher. Among his many pitching feats was one established back in 1904 when he struck out 343 men in 377 innings, a record that stood until Bob Feller broke it last season. For the next year, Waddell won 27 games pitching the Philadelphia A's to an American League pennant. But Rube didn't pitch against the great Christy Matheson of the Giants in the World Series that year because of a shoulder injury he received when he fell over a pile of luggage in a train. He was only trying to crush another player's straw hat. There was another league record set by Waddell that stood until broken by Feller, 16 strikeouts in one game set in July 1908. But there are other pitching records made by Waddell that still stand. Rube Waddell died when he was 37, his death resulting from an illness brought on by heroic action 2 years before. You see, a Kentucky river overflowed its banks, and for hours, Rube stood up to his chest in icy water, piling up sandbags to help save the town. But not until the end, Rube Waddell remained the same, colorful, kidding, and fun to be around.
And now, Dick Tracy.
Yesterday, Bull Hooker, elephant attendant, went to Medium Rare and told her that he had seen her monkey, Simmy Ann, start the fire that put the whole circus in an uproar. Medium Rare agreed to pay him well for his silence. But Pat Patton had been following Bull, and when the latter left Medium Rare's tent, Pat asked him what he'd been doing there. Bull was furious and tried to beat up Pat, but he'd picked on the wrong guy because Pat knocked him kicking after a hard fight. Well, much later, long after the evening show was over, Dick and Pat saw a beautiful girl sneak into the arena, climb to the high trapeze, and perform acrobatic miracles. Right now, Fibber, the ringmaster, is just entering Medium Rare's tent.
Is that you, Weeper?
It is I.
Come in.
Ah, for once you come fairly quickly when I send for you.
And you talk to me medium rare without making it sound like a lecture.
It's good for you. Keeps you on your toes.
What would you say if sometime I refused to do your dirty work?
I would say very little. But what I said would be to the police. I would just tell them how you murdered my husband.
But at your instigation, it was your idea.
It does no matter. You were the killer. Ah, poor Pierre. He was such a bad husband.
You didn't call me over here just to reminisce about old murders, did you?
I did not. Something has come up. Something that I do not like.
You mean they've discovered that we arranged Rosa's death?
Do not be silly. No one could find out about that.
Oh, then they know I put the iron bar in front of the automobile and tried to destroy those two new clowns. Medium rare. I did that because you told me to. I knew something would go wrong. It is your fault.
Be quiet. They know nothing.
Good.
No, it is not good, so you do not need to smile.
What is wrong, then?
You know I sent Simeon, my monkey, to start a fire. A fire that would attract everyone's attention while you placed the iron bar in front of the car.
Yes, I know.
Well, Bull Hooker, the elephant attendant, saw Simeon.
Well, so what can he do?
At the moment, he is blackmailing me.
You are paying him money to keep silent?
Yes.
You must be crazy. What difference does it make, even if he tells Sean Kernan that the monkey started the fire? All he will do is take the monkey away from you.
That's all he will do. Do you know what Simeon means to me? I have trained her so that she is smarter than a human. Smarter than you, Whipper. Smarter than anyone. Oh, is it not so, Simeon?
All right. So the chimpanzee is smarter than Einstein. What are you going to do?
I am not going to pay Bull Hooker for the rest of my life.
Well, it looks as if it was that or give up the monkey.
You are so stupid. You will help me persuade Bull Hooker that he is making a very serious mistake.
Well, he's a tough guy. You can't talk him out of anything.
Who said anything about conversation? You will kill him.
Now, wait a minute, medium rare. No more murders. I have done already too many.
Several more murders it must be. It is written that misfortune shall beset the circus in sets of threes. So far, there has been only one.
I will not do it.
You will do it. And I will go with you and Simeon. It will be very easy. And no one will know that it is a murder.
Well, how are you going to arrange that?
You know that big elephant titan?
Yes. He's the nasty one.
He hates monkeys. I am to meet Bull Hooker later at the elephant stable. He will be alone. He expects a payment. He will get it.
Yes, we are getting in so far, we will never be able to get out.
We are only just starting. After Bull Hooker, it will be the two clowns. They have been asking too many questions about the murder of Rosa and the fire. We missed them before, but we will not again. Yes. I think after Bull Hooker, it will be...
At the moment, the two clowns are conversing not far from Medium Rare's tent.
Why the brooding look, Patrick? Are the cares of the world hanging heavy on your soul?
I think I'd like to stop pretending to be a clown and go back to being a detective.
No, not yet, Pat. Our clown act is still good. And I'm afraid it's the only way we'll get to the bottom of this murder. Not to mention the attack on us.
Well, by all means mention it. It's rapidly becoming my favorite puzzle.
If we could just break down that fellow Bull Hooker.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows who started that fire, but I can't get him to talk.
Let's have another go at him. I think he's on duty at the elephant stable.
Let's go. Maybe after thinking things over last night, he'll give us the lowdown.
At least he ought to be more tractable after the beating you gave him.
Oh, yes, he's now a graduate summa cum punch in the nose of the famous Patton School of Charm, Good Manners, and Social Advancement. I have many satisfied graduates.
Say, Pat. What do you think of that girl we saw doing acrobatics on the high trapeze last night?
Well, outside of being very beautiful, she's about the best performer I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's how she impressed me. If Sean Kernan puts her in the circus, he'll have an overnight star on his hands.
Say, maybe we could use her in our act. I think that lately we've been slipping a little.
You mean we could get any worse?
Well, as a matter of fact, I've been wanting to have a serious talk with you, Richard. It's you who's been letting the performance down.
What are you talking about? I'm great.
Now, don't take this too deeply to heart, old man, but when you step out into the sawdust arena, you create what might be described as the biggest lull in the history of show business. Matter of fact, if you don't improve in tonight's performance, I may have to drop you and do a single.
Tonight, I'll saw you in half. That ought to get a hand.
Well, let's not get carried away.
Here we are, Pat. Bull ought to be somewhere around these elephants.
Well, here come the clowns.
Oh, hello, Bull. We thought we'd like to drop in, have a little chat with you.
Why can't you guys leave me alone? I ain't done nothing to you.
Oh, take it easy, Bull. You know, Pat and I believe that you know more about that fire last night than you want to tell us.
Well, I don't know nothing about it, just like I told you yesterday.
Well, then why did you go rushing off to medium rare the minute we left you?
I tell you, I got a terrific yen to know the future. So who should I go to but medium rare?
Did she give you any hot tips?
Nothing that'd interest you, wise guy.
Now, Bull, I don't want to have to lecture you again, but Richard and I would appreciate it if you wouldn't use such terms as wise guy unless you mean it as a compliment.
All right.
You know, it seems kind of strange to me, Bull, that a fire could have been started not 40 feet from you without your knowing who was responsible.
It may seem strange, but that's how it is. Say, why are you guys so interested in the fire?
Oh, it's sort of a hobby with us.
That makes about as much sense as the rest of the things you fellas say and do.
Now, listen, Bull. I heard that Sean Kernan, the owner of the circus, is going to have some police in to investigate what's been happening around his circus.
He can do anything he wants.
Well, maybe the police are going to be interested in who set that hay pile on fire.
Can't you get it straight? I don't know nothing about it. I mind my own business and take care of the elephants.
The rich full life.
What are you going to do? Go up to the cops and tell them to sweat me?
Oh, Bull, you've got it all wrong. We circus people have to stick together. That's why we're trying to help you out of a jam.
I ain't no jam, and you can help me most by leaving me alone.
I think you're taking a very unfortunate attitude, Bull.
Get out of here, will you?
Hey, you two clowns take it, Pat?
That's right.
But Shaw Kernan said he's got to see you in his office right away. Said it's very important.
So that's it, huh? So that's it. Couple of teachers' pets, huh? You know the boss, huh? I might have noted. That's why you can get away with that lousy act of yours.
Now, just a minute, Junior. If our performance is too high class for you, that's no reason
that performance wouldn't get you a split week in a garage in Hoboken if you wasn't pals with the boss.
Why, you know...
Now, easy, Patrick. That's what's called constructive criticism. Come on, we got to see what Sean wants. A short time after Tracy and Patton leave, Medium Rare, Ripper, and Simeon, the monkey, pay a visit to Bull Hooker.
Oh, so it's you, Medium Rare. You got the loot?
All this as I promised you.
Hey, what'd you bring that monkey around for? You know she'll drive tight and crazy. Then he'll start the other elephants going.
Do not worry, I will keep her with me.
What's Whipper doing?
Oh, it is all right, Bull. I know all about your little financial arrangement with Medium Rare.
Yeah? Well, I don't like it.
Never mind what you like. You're being well paid.
It ain't enough. They're going to send some cops around to ask a lot of questions, and I'm going to get it first.
Who told you that?
Them two clowns that's always hanging around.
They're putting their noses in everything. What did I tell you, Weeper? They must be eliminated.
You're talking pretty big. Do I get more dough?
This is what you get.
A gun, eh?
All right, Weeper. Beat him with your whip. Beat him.
Hey, you crazy? Oh, no, you don't. I'm getting back to the elephants under Titan. If you're whipping, they'll kill you.
And if you come out from there, I shoot you. Come on, Simeon. Come on, darling. And to the elephant. And to the big one, Titan. Quick.
Pull that monkey back. He's heading straight for Titan. Get him out of here.
But it's for the pennies. That's all you're worth.
In a moment, we'll return to Dick Tracy. But first... Well, Tracy fans, there are lots of jokes about lawyers, maybe one or two lawyers who are jokes. But when it comes to attorney-inspired laughter, you can't beat the Eddie Alberts Show, broadcast over most of these ABC stations every Wednesday night. The star of the show is the same Eddie Albert, whose performances on the screen have been enjoyed by millions. And Wednesday nights, you'll take the part of a friendly, earnest, and somewhat confused young lawyer in the unique town of Plainville. Unique, of course, comes from the Latin, unus meaning one and equus meaning horse, one horse. Well, anyway, Plainville is a town that can support just one law firm. Eddie has a rival, Judge Cartwright, who, by unhappy coincidence, is the father of Eddie's fiancée. You can see that attorney-at-law Eddie Albert's troubles can stem both from social and professional sources. And professionally speaking, his law practice lacks only one important detail: clients. Well, everyone in your family is sure to enjoy the minutes spent listening to Eddie Albert's adventures. And so, for a hilarious comedy dealing with warm-hearted folks, tune in the Eddie Albert Show. Remember, it's on the air tonight over most of these same ABC stations. Now, back to Dick Tracy.
Say, Dick, did you hear that? Sounds like the charge of the Light Brigade.
It's the elephants, Pat. Sounds as if they're going crazy. Come on, let's get back there.
Medium Rare, Whipper, and the fabulous Monkey Simmy Ann have struck again. Maybe Dick and Pat are up against more than they can handle. You'd better tune in tomorrow for the adventures of Dick Tracy. Written by John Ray and Everett S. Crosby, and heard overseas through the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is George Gunn speaking. What's marriage without a father-in-law? In Willie Piper's case, it would probably be perfect bliss. Willie's the bashful, long-suffering hero of the Willie Piper Show, and his father-in-law is a domineering gent whose aim in life seems to be to keep Willie happy with his presence. When Willie found a place to live for himself and his new bride, Pop suddenly discovered that he was a lonely old man, and that meant a troublesome threesome instead of a blissful couple in the Piper household. Yes, Willie is a grocery clerk by trade, a husband by intention, and a son-in-law by circumstance. Don't miss the Willie Piper Show tomorrow night. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
One of old-time radio's longest-running and most popular programs, CBS Mystery Theater, is up next.
Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to our world of mystery and the macabre. The Romans called her Venus. The Greeks knew her as Aphrodite. To other ancient peoples, she was Ishtar, Isis, and Astarte. But whatever the name, she was always the same. The mysterious, passionate, voluptuous goddess of love. And sometimes of death. Our mystery drama, The Venus de Ile, was especially adapted from the Prosper Mérimée classic for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Norman Rose. It is sponsored in part by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal, and by new sugar-free Diet 7-Up. I'll be back shortly with Act 1.
When you feel like having a cold Budweiser, do you automatically reach for a glass? Well, sure, Bud's a great beer any way you drink it. But without a glass, you're really missing something. Now, take that wonderful Budweiser head of foam, for instance. Those bubbles, tiny though they are, still amount to something pretty special at the top of your glass. Taste appeal and eye appeal. Two results of exclusive beechwood aging and natural carbonation. It takes a lot longer to brew Budweiser that way, but brewing beer right does make a difference that you can taste. That's why, when you say Budweiser, you've really said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
No matter what you're saving for, that's what Suburban Savings for Suburban.
Suburban Savings offers you an easy way to borrow without touching a penny in your regular savings passbook account. Just let Suburban loan you the money. It's called Suburban Savings Passbook Loan. You can borrow up to 90% of the total amount you have on deposit at reasonable rates, and you can pay off your loan at your convenience. When your loan is repaid, you still have all of your savings intact, plus interest. So if you need money, why not take a loan from Suburban without touching your savings? Suburban Savings Passbook Loan in New Jersey at Bayonne, Edgewater, Elmwood Park, Emerson, Hackettstown, Morris Plains, Nutley, Paramus, and Sparta.
Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. And now, mesdames et messieurs, we play. And it is 13, rouge, 13, red.
There, you see? It's always rouge when I bet noir. But how can you change horses in midstream? No, I have faith. 50,000 francs on the black.
I'm sorry, Monsieur le Vicomte.
About what?
There can be no more credit.
No credit? Call the manager.
It was the manager himself who gave the order.
Oh, I see.
I'm sorry, monsieur.
Save my place at the table.
Come in. Ah, Claude. Have a chair, my boy.
Monsieur Armand, is this how you treat an old friend?
We'll have a glass of champagne. Fabulous flavor.
What is the meaning of
Have
this?
a cigar. Just arrived from Havana.
Have a chair, have a glass of champagne, have a cigar. I'm waiting to hear you offer me what I came in for.
And what's that?
Credit.
Credit. Let me talk to you like a father.
I can see where this is leading. No credit.
Had you not come to see me, I would have gone to see you.
Why?
You owe this establishment 1 million francs.
And?
And there are those who will demand payment. Those who will take drastic steps if payment is not forthcoming within the next few days.
What are you talking about?
My boy, we are now... How can I say this? Well, we are now organized.
Organized?
We are owned by a syndicate, and all debts must be collected. They will be collected by people who are known as enforcers, I think.
Will you extend me credit or not?
Claude, please listen. The syndicate has been through my books. You are in danger.
You expect me to be frightened by these hoodlums?
Claude, give me some assurances that you can pay, or else please disappear for a while.
I have a document that will not only encourage you to extend credit, but will also satisfy the vultures who seem to be running your establishment.
The document?
Mm-hmm. I have here a letter from Mademoiselle Eloise Calvert.
The heiress?
Yes, the heiress. The wealthiest young lady in France. In which she says, among other things, "My darling Claude, if you refuse to marry me, I don't think I care to live any longer."
She says that?
Now, I would assume that this should serve as a gilt-edged letter of credit. A document even stronger than the Bank of France.
May I see the letter?
If you insist.
Fine. On the basis of this, your credit is unlimited. But make sure the engagement is announced within 3 or 4 days.
Of course. And perhaps sooner.
Good morning, darling.
Good morning, Eloise.
Oh, it's only you, Henri.
I'm sorry you're disappointed.
Well, you're not bad. And if there were no Claude Louis, you might even do. Henri, have you seen him?
He's probably still fast asleep.
No, he promised to play tennis with me this morning.
No, then he'll be along. Where did you get this amazing statue?
Oh, I don't know. Monsieur Delon, who bought all that art for my father, my dear departed father, advised me to pick it up.
It's fantastic. A bronze 8-foot Venus?
She should be worth more than the one at the Louvre. At least this one has arms.
Why do you place her here, at the entrance to your tennis court?
Why not? We always have a crowd here. Why should she be lonesome?
Do you know that in Greek and Roman times, our very town of Il had a temple sacred to Venus? Yes, right here.
Well, now, how and why should I know a thing like that?
And this was the great statue of Venus that stood in the shrine of the temple.
Really? The same one?
Look at the air of mystery that surrounds the face. This is a woman of many moods and passions.
Here comes Claude Louis.
Good morning, Eloise.
Hello, darling.
And Cousin Henri.
Have you examined this statue, Claude?
Great big girl, isn't she? She's, magnificent, too.
The goddess of love. The fickle, jealous, unpredictable goddess of love.
Well, I came down to play tennis.
And I am ready for you. You're not really very good this morning.
Well, wait till I warm up.
I'm just toying with you. You can hardly hit the ball. What will you do in the game?
I'll tell you what it is, darling.
An excuse coming up. Make it good.
It's this ring. This ring I'm wearing.
That big, ostentatious, vulgar ring.
Now. It belonged to my father.
Well, I never liked it.
Stop. Stop for a minute. I want to take it off. I can't grip the racket properly. Now, where can I put it? I don't have a pocket in these trousers.
So why don't you just throw the ugly thing away? I'll buy you a new one.
Oh, now, darling, it has a very sentimental value. Oh, I know a good place for it. Excuse me a minute.
Where are you going?
I'll just put it on Miss Venus's finger.
And I thought you came here to put a ring on my finger.
No, Claude, no.
No what?
Don't do that. It's
what?
I was about to say blasphemy, but that's not really the word.
Oh, Henri, what are you talking about?
But it just doesn't seem right. After all, she is the goddess of love, and you can't...
Yes?
You're offering her your ring, which means you're asking her to marry you.
Do you have any idea what you're saying, Henri?
That is, symbolically, of course.
Eloise, is your cousin always like this?
Well, he's a very deep person.
Claude, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Don't put that ring on her finger.
Why not? There we are. It fits her perfectly. Looks good on her, too.
All right. Now let's see if that ring really was what cramped your style, Claude.
Let's see you get that one.
Oh, dear. Nice. But you'll have to do it again.
Watch out.
You were better than last time, but still not good enough.
Well, if all I did was play tennis all day...
Why don't you? Uh-oh. It's going to come down any minute. Let's run for the house. We shouldn't be out here in the lightning.
Hey, Henri, get my ring, will you?
And meet us in the house, Henri. Come on, Claude.
Wait a minute. He's just standing there.
Darling, it's going to pour any second.
What's the matter with him? Henri! Eloise, is he all right?
Well, let's go see. Henri?
Henri, what are you staring at?
Your ring, Claude.
Well, what about my ring?
It won't come off her finger.
What?
Try it. Try it yourself. Just try to take it off.
All right, I will.
Oh, please hurry. We'll be drenched.
See what I mean, Claude?
What does he mean, Claude?
This ring, my ring, for some reason, I can't seem to get it off her finger.
What on earth are you talking about? Just take it off.
Well, it seems to be stuck.
Why?
I don't know.
Wait. Why are we just standing around in the rain?
Why won't this ring come off? I can't even move it.
Well, you worry about it. I'm going into the house before I get soaked.
Henri, why can't I get this ring off? Why?
Dinner will be ready in a few minutes. The chef went out of his way for Claude. Oh, Henri, why doesn't he ask me to marry him?
Who? The chef?
No, idiot, Claude.
He will. After all, he's penniless.
Oh, now that's not worthy of you.
I'm sorry.
Where is Claude?
He's out on the tennis court.
Now?
It seems he still can't get his ring off that goddess's finger.
I don't believe it.
You want to go see?
In this rain? No, thank you. Oh, Claude. Oh, darling, look at you. You're dripping wet.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll go right upstairs and change.
What were you doing outside?
Well, I know it sounds silly, but I was trying to get my ring off her finger.
And did you?
No.
There could be a kind of secret spring, and it snapped, and it sort of curved her finger around it.
I don't know what to do about it. Is it all right if I just leave it there?
Oh, I never liked that ring. If the statue wants it that badly, let her have it. Did you enjoy dinner, darling?
Oh, it was delicious. Pierre outdid himself.
How would you know? You scarcely touched your food.
Eloise, if you must know, it's that silly statue.
Can't we forget her finally, I hope?
Henri, how do you account for it?
You wouldn't believe a word I say.
Oh, well, say it.
In the old days, she was the center of an adoring, worshipping populace right here. Every day she was presented with gifts. And then suddenly, it stopped. The old religion had died. And for nearly 2,000 years, she's been neglected. Suddenly, once again, she is given a gift. You can imagine that this one is more precious to her than anything in her history. And so she refuses to give it up.
Claude, darling, of course Henry is crazy, but he's only my cousin by marriage, so it doesn't run in the family.
Well, it's rather late. I think I'll turn in. Good night, all.
Good night.
Yes, good night.
Of course you received my letter.
That's why I came.
I love you, Claude.
I love you, too.
But I want you to ask me.
Oh, yes. Yes, I will.
Well, I'm waiting.
Eloise,
Claude, why are you so pale?
I don't know.
Are you ill?
I feel very strange.
How?
As if I hear music.
Music? But there's no...
It's an unusual kind of music. I've never heard anything like it before.
Claude, you belong to me. You have given me your ring. You belong to me. You belong to me forever.
What did Claude do? Did he really awaken this sleeping goddess after so many centuries?
And now another story of the ball and chain as Kellogg's Special K presents Veronica and Jeff.
Oh, Jeffrey, isn't this romantic? Out in a quiet lake at night with you rowing the boat.
Yes, Veronica, it's really neat.
Jeffrey, what was that?
Frogs.
Frogs that go bonk?
They're pretty weird frogs.
Oh, Jeffrey, you're such a card. You have a ball and chain, like the ones they use in those Special K commercials.
Yes, Veronica. It symbolizes my few pounds of extra weight. But I'm going to get rid of it.
How?
By exercising. You know, like rowing this boat and eating smart at every meal, starting with a Special K breakfast.
You mean a 1 ounce bowl of high-protein Special K, 4 ounces of skim milk, orange juice, and coffee?
Precisely. It's less than 240 calories, and it tastes delicious. It'll help me get rid of this ball and chain.
I'll help too, Jeff. After all, we're all in the same boat.
You have a ball and chain, too.
Your happy ending could begin with the Special K breakfast from Kellogg's.
Hey, Mom, what's for dinner? Hey, Mom, what you got?
It's time to get ready for the great outdoors, and your ShopRite supermarket has everything you'll need for cookout dinners and fun in the sun. And for this week's dinners, ShopRite is featuring whole grade A frying chickens, just 37 cents a pound. Roasting chickens up to 4 pounds, 47 cents a pound. Choice beef rib steaks, $1.19 a pound. ShopRite Franks, 89 cents a pound. Get all your outdoor cooking equipment and many great food values at your ShopRite supermarket.
family. She wants the best. She does all that she can do. She lets ShopRite do the rest. Hey, Ma, what's for dinner? ShopRite has the answer.
This is WOR New York, your Mystery Theater station.
You belong to me, Claude Louis. You are mine. No other woman can ever have you.
Claude. Claude?
Yes?
Darling, something's wrong.
I have a feeling...
I'm going to call the doctor.
Oh, no.
But you're ill.
No, I'm not ill.
Darling, please, get some rest. I'm sure you'll feel better in the morning.
Yes, I'm sure of it. I'll just sit here for a few minutes and smoke a pipe.
All right. Good night, Claude.
Good night.
My beloved Claude Louis. My beloved.
Who is that? Who's there?
Claude, you will come with me. You will live with the gods. You will live like a god. Leave this house. Leave this foolish mortal woman and come with me.
No.
Claude, I am the goddess of love. I am also the goddess of death.
No. Let me alone.
Well, good morning, darling.
Good morning.
I had told Pierre to prepare an especially delicious breakfast, so I do hope you're hungry.
Mademoiselle Eloise. Monsieur Claude?
What is it, René?
Monsieur Claude, you asked me to see about the ring.
What ring? Oh, that ring.
Were you able to...
The ring just won't come off. It's like fused to the metal.
Could that be possible somehow?
No, sir. It is not possible unless you welded it on there, which you didn't.
Well, then what's to be done?
Nothing. Unless you want to cut the finger off.
Oh, no.
I am so tired of all this chatter about that silly ring.
Oh, thank you, René. I appreciate what you've done.
Yes, Monsieur Claude. Good day. I tried my best.
I'm sorry I bought that ridiculous statue.
She's hardly ridiculous.
And now you're starting to talk like Henri.
I'm sorry.
I keep asking myself, why did I have to fall in love with you?
Because I'm charming and handsome.
No, well, the sensible thing would have been to fall in love with Henri.
Darling, I'll go up and change and meet you at the tennis court. Listen, whoever you are, whatever you are, listen. I put that ring on your finger the way you place a hat on a rack or a coat on a hook. I wasn't thinking of... Well, I certainly didn't mean anything by it. So, if this is all a practical joke, fine. The joke's on me. But if you really are a goddess and you're taking this seriously, what would you want with me, anyhow?
You are my beloved.
I'm trying to explain. I must marry Eloise Calvert. I have no choice.
I am your bride. I will share you with no mortal woman. I will see you dead first.
I didn't know you were in the habit of talking to yourself.
Oh, Henri, what are you doing here?
Eloise sent me. Her lawyer has just arrived from Paris. He has papers for her to sign.
Oh.
In anticipation of your coming marriage, she's having considerable property signed over to you.
Oh.
Something wrong with you this morning?
Well, yes, it's that damn statue.
Claude, I shouldn't say this.
Shouldn't say what?
I have good advice for you. even if it goes against my own interest. Please, forget about that statue.
Forget?
This whole affair about the ring and the mysterious fact that it won't come off is starting to frighten Eloise.
Frightened?
She doesn't like to be frightened.
Well, who does?
She's been fantastically rich all her life. She's always had everything she wanted by snapping her fingers. Except you.
Well, she's got me.
No, not quite yet. Instinctively, you know how to treat her. You don't fall at her feet the way the rest of us do. You maintain a kind of reserve. That's because you know all about women.
You flatter me.
Even now, you're playing her to perfection. True, it's a formality, but she wants that ritual declaration of love, that beautifully stated proposal of marriage, and you delay it exquisitely.
But I came here to propose.
You've already proposed to one goddess.
Stop that, will you?
The goddess of love. And now you intend to propose to another.
Eloise? A goddess?
Of course. The goddess of wealth and power. How fortunate. Each of these goddesses wants you as her consort.
Oh, Henri, sometimes I wonder about your sanity.
That's just another way of saying that you wonder about your own. Why won't the ring come off?
Well, there must be an explanation.
Yes, there is. You're the fiancé of Venus. She won't give you up.
I mean a rational explanation.
It makes sense to me. And it also makes sense to you. You don't have to admit it.
Well, I came here to propose to Eloise.
Then why don't you do it?
I will. I'll take her out to dinner tonight, and I'll ask her to marry me.
What a lovely place.
A bit off the beaten track, darling.
And the food.
I wanted a perfect setting.
For what?
For the most important statement of my life.
Flatterer.
Of course I'm a flatterer. And you love flattery.
Doesn't every woman? Oh, I can see we're going to be a very straightforward couple.
Yes. Eloise,
Yes?
I want to ask you to...
I'm waiting.
You're mine, Claude. You gave me your ring.
But I told you...
Claude, you may play with other women. You may deceive other women. But no man in the history of the world has ever deceived me and lived. I am Venus. I am Aphrodite. I am Astarte. I am Isis. I am Ishtar.
But I only...
Hundreds, thousands, numberless races of men on this planet have worshipped me under numberless names. And now, I choose you. I choose you, Claude Louis. You belong to me. You are mine. You must leave this woman.
Claude.
I must...
Darling, something is wrong.
No, I just feel very...
Very what? See, you can't say. You don't know. But I know.
Do you?
I spoke to Dr. Legrand. He told me all about men like you.
Men like me?
Yes. It has to do with the fear of becoming a husband.
But I have no fear of...
Yes, you do. Oh, you do. Way down, deep down in the subconscious where you're unaware of it. You're giving up the old, wild freedom. And you're just not sure you want to...
Oh, but I am...
Well, I intend to be patient. I love you.
Good evening, Claude.
Oh, well, good evening, Monsieur Armand.
I was dining here with some associates, and I thought I would come over to pay my respects.
Oh, yes. Darling, may I present Monsieur Armand?
I am honored, mademoiselle.
Enchanté.
Well, Claude, I had expected...
Yes?
Apropos of our last discussion, I had expected a settlement or a statement.
Yes, I know.
As a matter of fact, my associates were saying just now. Why do you suppose we have not heard?
Reassure your associates for me, monsieur, that everything is in order.
Of course. So happy to have made your acquaintance, mademoiselle.
Darling, what was he talking about?
Oh, business proposition.
Claude, Monsieur Armand, he's sitting at that table. Look, over to the right, you see?
Well, what about it?
Well, look at those two men at the table with him. He called them his business associates.
I suppose they are.
Well, then I cannot imagine what sort of business he could be engaged in. Those two men are the worst-looking thugs I've ever seen in my life.
Now, darling, you shouldn't judge by appearance. They could be tender-hearted, church-going, devoted family men.
Oh, no. Hired killers would be more likely. Darling, take me home. I'm frightened.
Good morning, Claude.
Morning, Henri.
You seem to have quite an appetite this morning.
What do they say? The condemned man ate a hearty meal.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. Have you seen Eloise?
No, she's still asleep.
Well, that's not like her.
She's worried about you.
Well, everything's all right. We can be married tomorrow if she wants.
Oh? You've decided?
Of course.
And what about the other one?
What other one?
As if you don't know.
I'm not sure I understand.
The Venus, your own Venus deal.
Oh, that. Let me tell you, I didn't sleep last night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was good for me. Henri, I did some thinking.
And?
And I called myself every stupid name I could remember.
Why?
If I keep this up, this groundless, mindless, idiotic fear or apprehension, if I keep imagining she talks to me, well, I can very well lose Eloise.
Eloise is very much in love with you.
Love. Love is an illusion. You fall in, you fall out. I can read women. This ring business is beginning to irritate her. Worse, it's starting to bore her.
I've been warning you.
What really happened? I needed a resting place for a ring, so I absently placed it on the finger of a statue. A lifeless metal statue. You follow me?
You're telling the story.
Due to some phenomenon that probably has a rational explanation, if we ever find it, the ring seems to adhere to the finger of the statue. Is that true?
Obviously, the ring's still there.
But that's all that happened.
Who said anything else?
You did.
Me?
You. You're the one who invested the statue with all kinds of magic and mysterious qualities.
Well, I was merely... Or did you do it as a joke? Or did you, as millions of men before you, actually fall in love with her?
Oh, no, Henri. We're not having any more of that. Well, old girl, I must say it was exciting. It was even fun for a while. Venus deal. Oh, you must have been something in your day. All woman. Oh, no. No, madame. I'm wise to these little tricks of the mind. Not this time. Not again.
Claude.
Of course, Claude. But you're in my head. You're part of my imagination.
Claude, you belong to me.
I belong to no one. I belong to myself.
Foolish Claude. Do you think you can fight me?
You're just an image in my own brain.
Claude, you don't love Eloise. You're in love with love. Claude, I am love.
I don't believe.
Yes, Claude, you believe. You believe. The love I offer you is beyond dreams, beyond imagination.
No, I'm not listening.
A glorious love.
No, please.
Don't be frightened. Come with me. Live with me. Live like a god. A god. Live on love.
No.
You asked me, Claude. You gave me your ring. You wanted me. You always wanted me. Say it.
No.
Say it, Claude. Say the truth.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Then, come with me.
Now.
Now.
That's it. That's how it happened. That's how it happened. I know how it happened.
Claude. What are you doing standing out here and yelling like a maniac?
It's another electrical storm. We'd better get inside.
Oh, yes. Come, Claude.
Now I know.
What do you know?
I know why the ring is stuck on her finger.
Oh, do you?
Is it so important after all?
Oh, yes, it's important. Do you remember what Rene said? He said it looked as if the ring is fused to the metal. Well, look closely. Doesn't it appear that way?
Well, what's the difference?
He also said it was impossible unless you welded it on. And, of course, you didn't.
No, I didn't. But someone else did.
Who?
Perhaps not a who, but a what.
What did happen?
We were playing tennis. I took the ring off, placed it on her finger.
Well, we already know all that. Tell us the rest of it.
You know the rest of it, too.
Claude.
Of course you do. We kept playing tennis, and then suddenly there was a peal of thunder, a flash of lightning. Well, don't you see?
No.
The lightning, it must have struck the statue in such a way as to have fused the ring to her finger.
Well, that's impossible.
No, it's not impossible. It could have happened.
Well, then it answers the question and finally settles the problem.
It's the only way we can account for it.
Unless?
No, Henri, no more of these unlesses.
So now, can we forget about it?
Absolutely, my darling. Eloise, marry me.
What?
I said marry me.
But I was expecting...
You were expecting a romantic speech, poetry, sweet music, sparkling wine.
Yes.
Shall I try again?
Oh, no. No, I accept.
May I be the first to offer congratulations?
Of course, Henri. You fought a good fight.
But the better man won.
Eloise, my darling, may I ask for a wedding present now?
Oh, anything.
Good. Could you get rid of this statue?
My rival?
Well?
Of course. We'll donate her to a museum.
No, I mean get rid of her.
How?
Have her destroyed, melted down.
Oh?
But Claude, she's priceless.
Well, I'll have it taken care of tomorrow.
Can it be done today?
Well, yes. Rene will be back in the morning and...
Oh, well, I suppose it'll be all right.
He'll take care of her. First thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Toast to the happy couple.
Congratulations. Long life.
Thank you all. Claude and I are so happy. Please, everybody, eat, drink, dance. Help us enjoy this glorious occasion.
You look beautiful, my dear.
Oh, I always dreamed of a night like this. Are you happy?
Oh, yes.
Completely?
Yes.
It's odd, you look so thoughtful.
Do I?
Very.
I'm only thinking of us.
Only of us?
My darling, in this whole wide world, there are only the two of us.
But, Claude, is something the matter? You're frowning.
I wasn't aware.
You're not ill?
No, of course not.
You don't look very comfortable.
Well, perhaps it's a bit close in here. I may just need a breath of fresh air.
Oh, I'll go with you.
No, dear. We both can't leave our guests. I'll just step outside for a moment. It'll do me good.
Claude Louis.
No.
You fool.
I won't believe it.
What won't you believe?
I won't believe you are there.
You have dared to trifle with the heart of a goddess.
I don't know what you're saying.
I offered you my love. I would have given myself to you.
I've got to fight this. I am not mad. I've got to fight.
Of all the uncounted millions since the very beginning of the human race, I offered myself to you.
I accept this as an hallucination.
Fool! Look at me. Look at me.
No. It can't be. It can't be. You're human. You're flesh and blood. You're a woman.
Yes. A woman. A woman spurned. A woman scorned.
I didn't know. How was I to know?
I told you.
Forgive me. Please, forgive me.
Forgive you. Come to my arms. Embrace me. Know what you might have had. And know what you have lost forever.
I love you. I love you.
Fool!
Please. Please. You're crushing me.
You love me. But now you can only die for the love of me.
Oh, please. Let me love you. Let me go. No. No. Help.
Claude, where are you? Eloise is worried about...
Claude? Oh, no.
Don't come close, Eloise. Don't look, Eloise, don't. The statue, it fell on him.
He's...
Yes. He's dead. The statue just crushed him.
Oh, look.
What is it?
Look at the ring. That ring.
I don't see the ring.
Look.
Where?
On Claude's finger.
Oh.
The ring is back on Claude's finger.
Well, you have a choice. You can believe that the goddess Venus fell in love with Claude, became angry when he jilted her, and killed him. Or you can believe that he went out for a walk, and the rain had softened the statue's foundation, and it just fell on him. There were also the enforcers. All the ingredients are there for a provocative stew. Use which you like, and stir to your taste. I'll be back shortly.
Thought you couldn't afford to fly to California this summer, TWA has some good news for you. You can. Thanks to TWA's demand schedule service, you can fly to California for only $125. Just make your reservations 90 days before you want to go and put down a $20 deposit for each way. For all the details, call your travel agent. TWA's demand schedule service. Now you can afford to fly to California.
Our cast included Norman Rose, Joan Lovejoy, Evie Juster, Dan Ocko, and Robert Dryden. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
WR Mystery Theater has been brought to you by ShopRite Supermarkets, where you get a lot more for a little less, and by Suburban Savings, with offices throughout North New Jersey. The preceding Mystery Theater program is furnished by the CBS Radio Network.
This is Mary Helen McPhillips. Remember a few years back when you couldn't get a newspaper to read because there was a strike? Well, that prospect once again looms on the horizon. And tomorrow morning at 10:15, my guest will be Sheldon Zelaznik, editorial director of New York Magazine. and he'll explain the problems that currently face New York City's daily newspapers. So join me at 10:15.
I'm Fulton Lewis in the Mutual Broadcasting System studios in Washington, D.C. Now, my commentary. President Nixon's edited Watergate transcripts were formally delivered to Congress today with a White House brief that pronounced them proof of the president's innocence and quoted him as ordering amid the unraveling cover-up a year ago that, quote, everybody in this case is to talk and to tell the truth. In a volume roughly the size of a big city telephone book, 1,308 pages of transcripts were sent to the House Judiciary Committee for its inquiry into the president's possible impeachment. Separate copies in manila envelopes were delivered to the 38 committee members individually. They are going to meet tomorrow to decide whether to accept them in lieu of the White House tape recordings that the panel had originally subpoenaed. With them went a 50-page brief that was prepared by the president's impeachment attorney, James St. Clair, which wove presidential quotations together with a White House account of what the president actually said and did during the crucial phase of the Watergate cover-up attempt. The St. Clair paper concludes, quote, throughout the period of the Watergate affair, the raw material of these recorded confidential conversations establishes that the president had no prior knowledge of the break-in and that he had no knowledge of any cover-up prior to March 21st, 1973. In all of the thousands of words spoken, even though they often are unclear and ambiguous, not once does it appear that the President of the United States was engaged in any criminal plot to obstruct justice. While the official business today was the delivery of those papers to the House panel, their public release was perhaps more crucial to the President's latest effort to clear himself and settle the Watergate scandal. For the President himself said Monday night that in releasing the papers, he was placing his trust in the basic fairness of the American people to examine the evidence and see that he sought only to do what was right. One of the quotes included in the St. Clair brief today as evidence of the President's determination to clear up Watergate came from an April 15th, 1973 conversation with Assistant Attorney General Henry Peterson about the refusal of conspirator G. Gordon Liddy to cooperate with the government prosecutors. Quote, I want him to be sure to understand that as far as the president is concerned, everybody in this case is to talk and to tell the truth. You are to tell everybody, and you don't even have to call me on that with anybody. You just say that those are your orders. Another statement from an April 14th conversation with former aide John Ehrlichman reads this way, quote, we have to prick the boil and take the heat. Now that's what we're doing here. We're going to prick this boil and take the heat. I am not overstating. Within hours after the presidential material was delivered to the Judiciary Committee today, portions of the transcripts were obtained from House members, but they were, as St. Clair had said they would be, often unclear and ambiguous. That was the case, for example, with a March 21st, 1973 discussion of demands of the original Watergate burglary defendants for payoffs to keep them silent about the involvement of others. At one point in that very critical conversation, according to the transcript, there was a discussion about payoff demands and the likelihood that they would later be followed by demands for executive clemency, both of which President Nixon rejected. But later, the transcript shows this exchange in a discussion of the demand of Watergate conspirator E. Howard Hunt that he be paid $120,000. The exchange goes like this, President Nixon saying, you have no choice but to come up with the $120,000 or whatever it is, right? John Dean III, then White House counsel, replied, that's right. The White House brief said flatly that the president rejected the payment of $120,000 or any other sum to Hunt or to any other Watergate defendants. But St. Clair noted today the transcript does contain ambiguities and statements which, taken out of context, could be construed to have a variety of meanings. In prefacing his narrative account of the president's statements and actions, St. Clair repeated the president's offer to have New Jersey Democrat Representative Peter Rodino, the Judiciary Committee's chairman, and Michigan Republican Representative Edward Hutchinson, the ranking Republican member of the panel, listen to the actual tape recordings, quote, to satisfy themselves that a full and complete disclosure of the pertinent contents of those tapes had indeed been made. The White House brief said unnecessary expletives, characterizations of third parties, and material not involving the president's conduct had been edited out of the transcripts. Deletions were indicated with parenthetical notes in the body of the transcripts. The transcripts did bear out the president's prediction that they would end the speculation about the Watergate issue. For example, on February 28th of 1973, during a discussion of a formation of a special Senate committee headed by Senator Sam Ervin to investigate Watergate, the president said, "I frankly say that I would rather they would be partisan rather than for them to have a facade of fairness and all the rest." Ervin always talks about his being a great constitutional lawyer. On September 15th, 1972, the President, John Dean, and H.R. Haldeman discussed the fact that a General Accounting Office auditor was examining presidential campaign contribution records at the request of House Speaker Carl Albert. Haldeman, during that conversation, said, "Maybe we better put a little heat on him." The him being Albert. The President responded, "I think so, too." Haldeman then said, what we ought to do is to call the Speaker and say, "I regret that you caused us to do this to you." And the President responded, "Why don't you see if Harlow," he was referring to presidential aide Bryce Harlow, "why don't you see if Harlow will tell him that?" But the initial incomplete transcripts that became available on Capitol Hill proved, as the presidential lawyer St. Clair had predicted, very inconclusive on the primary issues of precisely when the president learned of various aspects of the Watergate scandal. The White House brief, constructed generally along chronological lines, notes that no one, not even Dean as the president's chief accuser, has alleged that the president had advance knowledge of the wiretapping burglary at the Democratic Party headquarters on June 17th of 1972. It quotes the transcript of a Nixon conversation with Dean. This one was held on February 28, 1973, in which the president said, quote, "Of course, I am not dumb, and I will never forget when I heard about this forced entry and bugging. I thought, what is this? What is the matter with these people? Are they crazy? I thought they were nuts." Dean has testified that after a September 15, 1972 meeting with the president, he had, in his words, the impression that the president was well aware of what had been going on regarding the success of keeping the White House out of the Watergate scandal. And in Dean's words, "I also had expressed to him my concern that I was not confident that the cover-up could be maintained indefinitely." But the White House brief, submitted to the Congress today, said that the tape of that meeting does not support Dean's testimony that the president was aware of the cover-up of the Watergate involvement. It quotes the president as saying, "Oh, well, this is a can of worms, as you know, a lot of this stuff that went on, and the people who work this way are awfully embarrassed. But the way you have handled all this seems to me has been very skillful in putting your fingers in the leaks that have sprung here and have sprung up there." St. Clair today explained that the president, in that sentence, was speaking about the politics of the matter, such as civil suits, countersuits, Democratic efforts to exploit Watergate as a political issue, and the like. He was not speaking in the context of any plot to obstruct justice. The reaction of the House Judiciary Committee to the president's actions of the past 24 hours is not yet known. This afternoon, Democrats and Republican members of that panel were caucusing separately, and tomorrow they'll get together and render their joint opinion. The president, I imagine, will be happy if he has succeeded only in rallying the Republican members of that panel into his corner. A partisan split within the impeachment inquiry would serve to discredit the inquiry to the point where the entire probe would have little, if any, public credibility. Today, some of the more ardent Nixon critics on the House panel, specifically Massachusetts Democrat Representative Drinan and California's Democrat Representative Waldy, stated that in their view, the president's response to the Judiciary Committee subpoena was totally unacceptable. They will take nothing more than the complete original tapes, not edited transcripts. They, in fact, will not even consider the president's suggestion that the full tapes be heard by Chairman Rodino and Representative Hutchinson. That will not be acceptable. They want the full tapes turned over to the full committee. At the very least, they want them heard in their entirety by the minority and majority counsels of the committee. The majority view of the committee Democrats, then, we can expect to be a little less extreme than that. The Republican view, we can expect to be even more moderate. I'll have more for you now in just a moment.
Service. We're big on that. When you buy an airline ticket, you're buying service. And at Ozark, we try to give you your money's worth. Service in making reservations, planning your trip, at the ticket counter, service on board. Ozark didn't get where it is by being small in things that really count. service, we're big on that. Go Ozark Jet to Champaign, Urbana, Peoria, and Springfield, Illinois. Call Ozark or your travel agent.
What the president has done, in effect, has been to throw the ball back into the Judiciary Committee's court. His approach last night, I think, seemed fair and equitable from a public opinion point of view, and public opinion, as I have stressed before, is going to have a tremendous impact on the entire impeachment process. The president, it is true, did not turn over the complete tapes. To have done so, he felt, and I think properly so, would have established a precedent which may have permanently impaired the separation of powers, the part of the Constitution which sets up the three branches of government as being separate but equal. It would have also permanently endangered the right of privacy and independence of the executive branch of our government. The president, on the other hand, did not invoke executive privilege in its entirety. He seemed to be cooperative, very cooperative with the impeachment inquiry, and he seemed to be very cooperative with the public as a whole, making the heretofore secret transcripts of the Watergate tapes public material. From the Mutual Studios in Washington, I'm Fulton Lewis, and that's the top of the news as it looks from here.
Now it is time to go back to Dodge City with GunSmoke.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of GunSmoke. GunSmoke, starring William Conrad. The story of the violence that moved west with young America. And the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man. Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful. And a little lonely.
Here's the water, Doc. It's hot.
Thank you, Sarah. Put it down on that chair.
Doc.
Yeah?
Doc, you can heal him, can't you? You can make him live.
He's bad hurt, Sarah. Awful bad hurt.
But he's so young. Don't that help, being young?
Bullets are no respecters of age. If I could have seen him sooner, maybe.
They sent him home like that, Doc. My boy, tied to the back of his horse like a butchered hog.
Hand me that cloth, Sarah.
Here it is. They was brutal, whoever they was.
You don't know?
He never said who he was seeing. But I know why they shot him.
Oh? Why?
Because he was through with them. He told him he wasn't going to ride with him no more. Oh, let me.
There's the bullet.
He's coming too, Doc.
Lemmy. Lem, who did this to you? Tell me, Lemmy. Don't be afraid. Tell me who hurt you.
I can't see.
Try, Lemmy. Try to speak. Who shot you? He's gone, Sarah. I'm sorry.
Oh, Doc. Maybe if you hadn't been at him so.
Sarah, you know I wouldn't hurt your boy. I've known him since he was a child. But we should know who did this terrible thing. They should be made to pay.
There's no paying for Lemmy.
I know, Sarah. I know. But someone's got to answer for it. Now, think now. Are you sure you don't know who did it?
No, Doc, I swear I don't. This is one thing Lemmy didn't talk about. And I know he wasn't proud of it. I know that.
And he went to them this morning to call it quits?
That's what he said. He told me. He told me I wouldn't have to worry about his riding off no more.
There, Sarah. There. You've just got to believe that he's all right now.
Lemmy.
But I'll arrange things in town, sir. I'll be back in a little while. Will you be all right until then?
Yes, Doc. I'll be all right.
Doc, will you sit down? It isn't going to help you any to tramp back and forth across the floor all day long.
I guess you're right, but I tell you, Matt, it was terrible.
Doesn't sound very pretty.
Shot in the back and sent home tied to his horse. A young boy like that.
You think his mother was telling the truth about not knowing anything about it?
Yes, man, I do. The boy was evidently trying to get out of some kind of trouble.
You think he'd been mixed up in something? Huh?
Yes, that's the way it looks to me. He wasn't really a bad boy, and I figure when he found out what he was in for, he wanted no part of it.
And whoever it was, he killed him to keep him quiet.
I think that was it, man.
Seems funny, though, that they'd send him home then.
Well, whoever it was thought he was dead. There was barely a sign of life in him when I got to him. Yeah. He might have been sent home as a warning to his mother, in case she did know anything.
Yeah, you could be right.
I'd give a lot to know who did that.
Well, I'll ride on out there this afternoon, Doc. Whoever it was will be hard to trace, though, with the boy not saying a word.
Well, I suppose so. I wish that... Say, Matt.
Yeah, Doc?
How would it be, do you suppose, if the killer thought the boy did talk?
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, suppose word got around that the boy had talked to me, that I know who the killer is.
You'd be a bigger target than a buffalo.
Well, no, I think that...
Now, you're thinking crazy, Doc. If the killer got the idea that you know anything, your life wouldn't be worth a nickel.
It'd flush them out, wouldn't it, Matt?
Well, maybe it would, but if they thought that you knew about it, they'd kill you.
Yeah, but maybe it's
now, you
the only
listen
way...
to me, Doc. This is my business. You stick to trying to keep folks alive. You let me take care of the other.
Well, I'd sure like to take care of this one.
Just forget it, Doc. You've already done all you could for Lemmy and his mother. Now, I'll ride out there.
Mr. Dillon? Oh, hello, Doc. Oh, Chester. Mr. Dillon, there's been a killing out to the woods place.
Yeah, Chester, I know. Doc was there when the boy died.
Oh. Well, that's a shame, Doc. A nice boy like that.
It's a terrible shame.
How'd you find out about it, Chester?
Well, I was passing by Mr. Jonas's store, and I heard about it.
I ordered the coffin there, Matt.
Oh, I see.
Matt, I don't think you'll find much to go on out at the woods place. I looked around, but there weren't any unusual tracks.
You was doing some tracking?
Well, I may not be a bloodhound like you are, Chester, but I can read some.
That's all right, Doc. Get my horse, will you, Chester?
Yes, sir.
Doc, you want to come with me?
No, Matt, thank you. I've been there twice today. You tell Sarah I'll drop by to see her tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll do that. Doc.
Yes, Matt.
Now, don't you get any fancy ideas about making up a story. We'll get this man. He'll make a mistake. They all do.
I just hope I'm around when he does. Yes, sir. I've seen a lot of killings since I came to this misbegotten town, but I do believe this is the worst.
Sounds awful, Doc. Shooting the boy in the back.
That poor kid didn't even have no chance to see who done it.
Oh, he saw who did it, all right. Oh, yes, yes. He knew who killed him.
I thought you said he was already out when you got to him.
Well, he was, yes. He was. But he roused himself just before he died. Enough to say a few words.
And you heard him, Doc?
I heard him all right.
Well, who done it then?
Not so fast. Oh, not so fast. I'll do my talking at the proper time and not before.
Seems to me you're doing an awful lot of talking right now.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Kitty.
He's telling us he knows who killed the Woods boy.
Well, that's so. Why don't you come over to my table, Doc, and talk to me for a while, huh?
Yeah, well, it's all right, Kitty. You bet. Sam, another round of beer over here. Yes. I'll see you later.
Yeah, sure.
You
ever heard anything like that?
Yeah. All right, Kitty.
Now, Doc Adams, what are you up to?
Well, just have a beer, Kitty. You've seen me drink beer before.
I never seen you buy it for the whole crowd before.
Well,
Here we are. Now, sit down, Doc.
Thank you, Kitty.
And you were gossiping like an old woman, bending the ear of anybody in the place who'd listen.
Well, there's always a lot of talk about a killing.
A killing isn't usually your favorite kind of talk. Is it true you know who killed the boy?
Well, yes, Kitty. I was there when Lemmy died.
Does Matt know this?
Well, not exactly.
Does Matt know that you're spreading the word around that you know who the killer is?
No, Kitty, he doesn't.
No, I'll bet he doesn't. Are you trying to get yourself killed, Doc?
Oh, now, stop worrying about it. This is a man's work.
You mean you're doing this on purpose?
Now, Kitty, you listen to me. I'm not anxious to get myself hurt. But whoever did this must be brought in.
So you've been telling this story all over town?
What's the best way I know of flushing him out?
He'll kill you, Doc. Sure as you're sitting here.
But then we'd know who did it, wouldn't we?
Doc, you're a stubborn old fool. I just hope you get a chance to grow older.
You're Doc Adams, ain't you?
That's who I am, son.
Well, I'm supposed to fetch you out to the Widow Woods place.
Oh. Something wrong with Sarah?
Reckon so. You're supposed to come.
Sarah sent you, did she?
Well, you're supposed to come because she's sick.
I see. Well, now, you just wait here a minute while I get my bag and you can ride out there with me in the buggy.
No, thanks, Doc. I'd rather go home by the creek. I don't want to ride with you.
Oh, all right, son. Yes, all right. Perhaps I'd better go alone at that.
Okay. Well, so long, Doc.
It's a woman's work, sweeping and dusting and keeping things in order. Ain't that so, Mr. Dillon?
What? What's that, Chester?
I say, ain't redding up a woman's job.
Well, you have to find the woman first.
Well, I wasn't cut out for it, I can tell you that. Seems to me a man ought to stick to what he is cut out for. You take old Doc now. He'd sure be better off if he'd stick to his line.
Yeah.
You ain't been down the street this morning, have you, Mr. Dillon?
No, Chester. I've been trying to get through this pile of stuff that came in the mail, and I'm still trying.
Well, it's just a caution. That old busybody's been covering the town, telling his story about the way the Woods boy got killed.
What's that, Chester? Will you put that broom down?
Oh, my.
Now, what were you saying?
Well, I was telling you about how Doc should ought to stick to his own business, Mr. Dillon, instead of bragging around about how much he knows about the shooting. I tell you, he ain't missed nobody in the saloon, at the livery stable, nowhere.
You mean he's saying he knows who killed Lemmy?
That's what he's been saying ever since it happened. I thought you told him to keep his mouth shut.
I did, Chester, and I guess I better go tell him again.
Well, he ain't up to his office.
You know where he went?
Yes, sir, I do. I seen the whole thing. Ragtail boy come in a little bit ago and fetched him out to the Widow Woods.
How do you know that?
Well, 'cause the kid come flying down the stairs from Doc's office looking like somebody was after him, and I grabbed him. I thought he might have stole something.
Well, go on, Chester. What did the boys say?
Well, he just said they sent him to get Doc out to the Widow Woods, that's all. Then I seen Doc drive off in his buggy.
Come on, let's get our horses.
What?
Looks like Doc talked himself into a trap. Come on.
that coffee hot yet? Bring it over here.
I'm fixing to.
Splash some milk into mine. You just keep looking out that window, Rube. Doc Adams will be just be getting here.
It'll do you no good when he does come.
Not alive, maybe. Do us plenty good dead. We'll make him forget what he knows about us mighty quick.
He don't know anything, I tell you, not anything at all.
Well, that ain't what he says. Bragging all over Dodger he knows about us.
Oh, I was here, wasn't I? I was here the whole time, every minute after you sent my Lemmy home, and he didn't say anything, I tell you. Oh, he tried, Lemmy did. He tried, but he couldn't. He couldn't speak. You butchered him up too bad.
Shut her up, Mort. He makes me feel crawly. It's as soon as Doc Adams walks in here. Hey, here he comes. Mort, there's his buggy. Stay low now till he gets in here.
Hey, you heard her shout. He's heading for the barn.
Come on, we gotta get him ashore.
Hey, that woman, she won't cause no trouble, Mort. I hit her a good knock.
Here's the buggy. Come on. Let's go in after him. All right. Inside now.
He's mighty quiet.
We get him. I'll go down the stalls this side. You stay here. Keep your eyes open.
Maybe he ain't got a gun.
I don't think he's that crazy. You cover me now.
Okay.
Ain't in this stall. No. This one neither.
Mort.
Hmm?
Mort. He's in the law. I seen something moving up there.
You get him, Rope.
He ain't shooting back.
Oh, he sure ain't. Maybe he hasn't got a gun up there. Or maybe you hit him.
He could be trying to fool us.
He ain't got that kind of time. I'm gonna go up after him. You shoot anything that moves.
All right, drop your gun. It's a marshal. Get him!
They're both down, Mr. Dillon. That big one fell off the ladder.
Go over and get his gun, Chester. This one's dead.
Yes, sir. He dead too, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. Doc. Doc, you all right?
Well, certainly I'm all right.
Well, come on down then.
Gladly, man, gladly. Not too comfortable up there.
Now, where's your gun?
Well, tell you the truth, man, I guess I must have left it in the buggy.
Well, if that don't just beat all. You make your brags around town to get yourself in a fix. We have to come all this way out here to save you, and then you don't even carry a gun. Of course, it probably don't make no difference. You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn anyhow.
Well, I got to see Sarah, man. She tried to warn me. They may have hurt her.
All right, Doc.
Well, that's better. It's about time you start doing what you're supposed to do, taking care of folks, instead of kiting off on a wild goose chase.
Yes, well, maybe you're right, Chester, but it wasn't exactly a wild goose chase now, was it?
No, Doc, I guess it wasn't.
Yeah, well, explain that to Chester, will you? I got work to do.
Well, I'll say one thing, Mr. Dillon. Doc maybe wasn't too smart about the way he handled things, but he sure has got heart.
Yeah, he sure does, Chester. Old Doc's got a lot of heart.
GunSmoke. Produced and directed by Norman McDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. The story was specially written for GunSmoke by Marion Clark, with editorial supervision by John Meston. Featured in the cast were Helen Flee, Irene Anders, and Sam Edwards. Harley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty. This is George Walsh inviting you to join us again next week for another story on GunSmoke.
This is the CBS Radio Network.